find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet. Let's talk about the latest news and all about true crime. We can make a difference if we put in the time. Good evening, come and find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet. Let's talk about the latest news and all about true crime. We can make a difference if we put in the time. Oh, we can make a difference if we put in the time. Good evening, come and find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet. Let's talk about the latest news and all about true crime. We can make a difference if we put in the time. Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Hey there, Kresha K. Are you with us?
Who? No. Yeah, I'm here. Still putting on final touches.
I didn't know your middle name when we first met, and now I do. So,
Fresh K.
Yeah, I can use it, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
My
did
nanny
your
always
mom
called me
use?
Pokey.
Go, say that again.
My nanny, my mom, and Charles's mom, my grandma. She always called me KK because she did not like my dad. My dad named me, and so there you go. Yep. I don't know why. He's awesome.
Your mom called you KK also?
No, she named me after herself, but
Right.
well, I mean, her and my dad named me after her middle name. My middle name is K. Her
Right.
not name is K. That's not her name at all. So that's kind of funny.
Is it really?
Right. Her name is Ethel, right? Kathleen.
Oh, wow.
She's named after her grandma. And so I'm glad that I did not get named Ethel. Just saying, it's a beautiful name, just not for me.
Yeah.
But they always called her Kay for, I guess, Kathleen. I don't know. Anyways, I just always assumed, because it's the best way to go. Not.
Right.
Hey, everybody. It's thunder in here, so I'm just letting y'all know. If I get zapped into the portal, you know what happened. I'll be back. Welcome to the portal.
We will try and hold on and keep you from getting sucked completely into the portal.
Yeah, because I'm really sick of it.
Yeah. Yep. I
don't get portal pay. There's no compensation for it. So
there's no reward.
Stay out the portals, y'all.
Yep. So let's see. Pammy was in here first. Sis, you should have been a detective. Good to see her as always.
What's up?
Michelle, Donna, Denise, Joe Schmoe's in here. What? Where'd he come from?
Just another Joe Schmoe.
I am. That's why I named my channel the way I did. Ada K's in here. Huggy Bear.
Hey, Huggy Bear.
Edie
I got the Huggy Bear had sent me the Tim Ballard's book proposal, which is so crazy. I didn't read it all the way because I like to read things with y'all. I know I've heard it before. It's been a long time, so it'll be like hearing it for the first time. It's not today, but next time we go into Timmy.
Yeah,
Can't
I've
say
got
Victor.
another name for you that I found going down a rabbit hole in my email today that just, you know how sometimes you get an email and you're like, I gotta check that out, and then you're like bloop 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 5 stories
Yeah,
later.
I got tons of those. Tons of those stories. Oh my gosh.
Jeff's in here, Butterfly's in here, Angela,
Okay.
Irish, Amy. Nice to have you hanging with us.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Do you want me to just like dive into this email?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just, you can just sit back and let me
I'm
drive for a little
smoking,
bit.
so I'm being a bad girl.
Like,
That's what I'm doing.
literally, not figuratively. Like, I'm smoking.
Smoking the pancake. Anyways, okay. Or is it smoking like a pancake? No, it's smoking a pancake. I don't know. It's been a long time.
Okay, email.
Y'all remember Fat Bastard?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
All right, let's see if this will show up properly in StreamYard at the stage. Okay, this is my email. So let's go back to February when I first signed up for
Cedar Fort. Yeah, no.
Are you familiar with Cedar Fort?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the rabbit hole I went today. I was not, but I think I was doing research on Visions of Glory. I think that's how I got subbed up to their spam list.
Right. It's
Because
one portal or another. It's always
exactly.
portal.
So, hey friend, thank you for joining. Book of Mormon, New Testament, Old Testament.
I still get those pamphlets in, their little LDS. Oh my God. Like the decorations and everything that they're using for the season. Not from Cedar Fort, I don't think, but I still get the little catalogs and I'm just like, okay, I signed up one time. Here we go.
Yes, that's what happened with this, because it's all electronic subs nowadays. And you just see things every once in a while on these, like, what do you think brings light and joy into the world? And it's like, that seems like a harmless Christian-like thing to say, or just religion in general, like even Buddhism. What do you think brings light and joy into this world? And you just know that there's like a different language that they have, and they mean different things when they say things
remove like if you take away Chad and Lori, you don't die, you don't have it extinguished, but I noticed the same thing throughout all the Book of Mormon stuff that I've read, all of the papers I've read, all the different excerpts from different prophets. Yes, it's the same coded and loaded language that Chad and Lori allegedly, went off kilter with and raided their victims and killed them. So, yep.
Yeah. And we're actually going to get really, really close to Chad and Lori through this rabbit hole that I went down today and preparing of people. So Cedar Fort, anyway, those are my emails from Cedar Fort. They are an LDS adjacent. I'm going to call them LDS adjacent publishing company.
Yeah, definitely. Chad Daybell even dealt with them too. So
did he really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I went to
he was a book publisher. He had a book publishing company. So I mean,
so
he didn't start from nowhere.
Did he know this guy? And this is where I went. I went to the Utah Secretary of State Business Registration website.
Well, there you go.
Here's Cedar Fort Publishing and Media. Started December 10th, 2014. And it's registered to a Bryce Mortimer.
Okay. I wonder if you can find out the first. Oh, Springville. Mm-hmm. Go back down.
Springville. Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's where Chad and Tammy were from.
Yep.
That's where Ruby and Kevin were from.
Yep.
Just saying. I wonder if you can find out the first book they published, or because if it's 2014, I'm looking at the timeline because Tim Ballard created Operation Underground Railroad, November 13th, 2013.
Oh,
And
wow.
the book Visions of Glory came out in 2012. And then John Pontius died soon after. So,
This is right in
and
that timeline of all those.
yes, and I want to know why they started, possibly who they are, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I just am trying to figure out this movement and its origins and, who did what and when.
And that's how I got down the rabbit hole today. That's where I went.
I appreciate it.
So that's Cedar Fort Publishing and Media. But if you come down here to Cedar Fort Inc., it was formed in 1986. So 5 years before the Glenn Pace memo, 5.5 years before the Glenn Pace memo. Bryce Mortimer, Springville, Utah, 1986, Cedar Fort Inc.
Okay, I'm looking that up now.
Bryce Mortimer, there's got to be a tie there of some kind.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I looked him up on LinkedIn, and his picture looks younger than him forming a business corporation in 1986. Because that's
what keeps the youth, too. No, that's my theory, at least. He does look young.
Yeah, look at that. Like he looks younger than I am. And
little baby face.
I was a sophomore in high school in 86. So
not me. No. In 86, my brother was born. Both my brothers were born.
Look down here, though. So I didn't log into LinkedIn because I don't want to share too much of my personal professional information just yet. But breaking news, the not so secret lives of real. This is one of his articles.
No, it looked like one.
Oh, no, this is David Politis. Okay, this is not. But it was shared. It was shared by Bryce Mortimer. So it's an article about the not so secret lives of real Mormon wives. Look at the second paragraph is what got me. Published less than 70 days after the launch of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
So it's like the not so it's two different things. Yes. I didn't know that.
It's a first-person book from Cedar Fort that features 8 co-authors, each happily married women and mothers who are self-proclaimed devout members of the church, each successful businesswomen and contributors to society. As such, the not-so-secret lives of real Mormon wives, capitalized real Mormon wives, has been published by Cedar Fort as a counterpoint to the Hulu Disney series.
Well, Hulu Disney, they did the one for Ruby Frankie too. Of Ruby Frankie.
It's just so funny that Cedar Fort, which is an adjacent publishing company, an LDS church adjacent, it's not official LDS church, but they come out with this counterpoint to the real wives of Mormon wives.
I wonder if it's going to be like some soccer mom, like the real Mormon moms, as like, because they don't like it. They don't like the publicity that show has brought them. It's all about image anyways, in my opinion. So,
right. So the church won't come out and officially themselves denounce it, but somebody who is adjacent to the LDS church will do something like this.
This just in. No, not just now, but I just Googled this. Turns out Chad Daybell was the managing editor of Cedar Fort, the company that published my first novel back in 1996. Chad endorsed me as a writer, saying something like, "This is the most imaginative author of our time and place." Not feeling really great about his endorsement at this point.
That's crazy.
I found that on the Cougar board. The Cougar board. Yeah. I can show it to y'all if you want to show it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so you can see what I see.
Do you see what I see?
Mm-hmm. Right there.
I knew it. I knew it when I went down that rabbit hole today that I was going down somewhere. Aren't you always going down somewhere?
Yeah. Small world. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how this thing works. So anyways. But yeah,
Oh,
that's
are we done with
interesting.
that? That's all right. So
Yeah.
let's
Let
put
me
this
grab that
back up.
link.
And yeah, um, where did that go? Okay, so that's my first three. What is that? 3, 4 steps down the rabbit hole, 3, 4 floors. Boop. Oh no, I closed out my mailbox. Now I got to open it back up.
Well,
So
damn,
let me
Joe.
remove
Slack
that.
it. I'm kidding.
I was just too fast with the clicker on the X.
I'm always like that. That's me all the time. But
And now
no.
my new laptop, it has 2 levels of authentication. So I can't just click my name and email and password. I have to also enter my secret code, my special secret
Oh,
combination.
oh God, no.
All right, Cedar Fort Publishing. This was the email I got today that sent me down the rabbit hole. Let's go back to share that. So they're having a convention that they call Fortified in Christ. Keynote
Allegedly.
speaker Al Caraway. It's funny that they're way more accepting of tattoos now than they used to be. For the right people, I guess.
They're more what?
Accepting of tattoos. Because when I was a teenager, tattoos were like, God, if you have a tattoo, you're no way getting into the celestial kingdom.
Yeah. No celestial kingdom for you.
No. Join us at the Fortified in Christ event for 2 days packed with faith, hope, and transformation. Here are all the speakers that they list on their flyer.
That makes me flinch when they do these conferences because I've already shared what I think these conferences are, or the Preparing a People conferences. Because I mean,
Exactly.
there's other literature out there of Tim Ballard doing these other conferences, you know, like the Alpha Male, whatever. Jason Mao also doing different conferences. Also having one of those conferences, the mayor of Rexburg, who gave me and my parents all jackets, okay, of the kids right here, of the Rexburg emblem on the, you know, the emblem or whatever on the back. And I mean, really nice, like a when, you know what I mean? Like it's like the ones Nate Eaton would wear. And I'm just really turned off by that because I'm just like, well, how can the mayor be, you know, oh, I'm so sorry, but then yet go and do conferences with Jason Mao? Nope. So I'm suspicious.
Well,
Suspicious.
all of these church adjacent conferences, it says in there that it's an LDS. It's for okay. You can't see that part yet. I'll get to that. But that Preparing a People was definitely an LDS adjacent convention type of thing.
And no matter what, I know Adam has said this and repeated this, and people have quoted him saying this, and I know that's where it came from because when I'm like, oh, you know, and then I'm like, oh, as told by Adam. But Adam is either under the impression and or just has not done his own research to find out that the people with preparing a people and all the people around them were not excommunicated. Only Julie Rowe, Eric Smith, and Mike Stroud, to my knowledge. Other than that, no. So don't be going around saying that Lori and Chad were hanging around with other excommunicated members of the church when that is not true. No, I was never raised LDS, but my Uncle Charles became LDS and then he got. Joe
Right.
was.
And Janelle Murphy, who I met through Lori's trials and through Trace on the Case, was very close to that circle of people that was about preparing the people. And I think she knows the people that were like founded it or were running it like pretty well, and
Mhm.
said generally she thinks they're good people, right? But
Yeah. You don't know what goes
when,
on behind closed doors, man. There were dead kids.
and the thing that raises my eyebrows just a little bit is after Chad and Lori, they changed the name of Preparing the People to something
Yeah.
else, but are basically doing the same thing. And
Yep.
and
They
this
have an
isn't it.
umbrella,
Yeah.
an umbrella of things. And I mean, I remember looking at their LinkedIn. I have screenshots somewhere. I don't have them ready. But I remember saying, like, oh my God, they have so many business names. One of them is Endura Wall. So there is that one.
Well, here's another one right here. Fortified in Christ. I'm just going to say it right now.
I'm
going
just
to
talking
put
about
it
the
out there.
Jameses, though.
Yeah.
They
I
had
don't
like
know
so
about
many
them.
different. I was like, are they Jamaican? And all these damn jobs. Anyways, and they were also doing the filming and stuff for Rod Meldrum as well. And I remember after the fact, like after they skedaddled when news hit the airwaves, they I got an email. I had signed up just like you did. I signed up to bookofmormonevidence.com or .org or whatever the hell. Rod Meldrum's one of his gigs. And so I would get emails periodically. And I got one that said it was September 5th, 2020 or 21. I don't remember. But they said, oh, basically we're breaking up. We're parting ways with Preparing the People, blah, blah, blah. I mean, because it would behoove them to not be caught up in that. But I'm on to you, Rod Meldrum. You stink. He stinks.
So when you click on the link to register, this is where you get taken to. Cedar Fort Publishing and Media presents. So Cedar Fort has direct ties to Chad Daybell, according to that website that you pulled up. So that's not necessarily verified receipts, but it makes sense.
I mean, I remember hearing about this before. All I did was Google, and that's the first thing I clicked on.
Right.
I Googled Chad Daybell and Cedar Fort Publishing. That was it. Utah.
Boom, bloop, right there. So here it says on their page, a Latter-day Saint gathering.
That's it.
So it's not an official church event, but it is a Latter-day Saint gathering.
Neither was Preparing a People. Neither was Gathering Humanity. None of them. And that's how the church, in my opinion, stays safe. Arm's distance. But yet other companies will promote them, just like we saw with BYU Radio they had Joseph Murray on. That's Emma Daybell's husband, Joseph Murray, to promote September 4, 2019, the upcoming race that Tammy Daybell ran. We thought she ran in it, but she didn't. She volunteered because Spring Creek Book Company, Chad Daybell's company, sponsored Tim Ballard's race the weekend that Tylee Ryan was murdered. I'm sorry. All the alarm bells and whistles are going off in my brain. And nobody else seems to get it.
I guarantee you Chad knew Bryce. And they were probably tight at one point in time until Chad was like, well, I'm going to go publish my own books. So then maybe they weren't so tight. But
I mean, if he was, let's entertain that he was the editor, managing editor for this guy's novel in 1996. Yeah, 1996. Turns out Chad Daybell was the managing editor of Cedar Fort, the company that published my first novel back in 96. Chad endorsed me as a writer, saying something like, this is the most imaginative author of our time and place. Not feeling really great about this endorsement at this point. Oh, shit. I'm just saying, and they network.
Mm-hmm. They
so
do.
BYUI had Joseph Smith. They had Joseph Murray on to promote Chad Daybell's damn and OUR's function the weekend Tylee was murdered. Okay. All right. For anybody that didn't hear.
Yeah, get ready to go a little further down the rabbit hole when we look through these
I don't
speakers.
like it already, Joe.
Al Caraway, I have no idea who that is. She looks like a lovely woman, lovely young woman, and I'm not prejudicial against tattoos at all. I have a couple of my own, but
Thanksgiving Point. What? No, that's where Tom Harrison and Tim Ballard and King Krog.
Where's Thanksgiving Point?
It's in Utah. Go, look it up. Look it up because it's
Where did that come from just now? I thought you were making another point.
Go down. September 19th.
Oh, where it's at the Thanksgiving Point show barn. Okay, now continue.
Just know that I remember Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt had this big conference, but it was outside. Kevin was there, Ruby's husband. And I don't know where it was, but I need to find out because, again, it's like these Satanists, in my opinion, being backed by the church, not so bluntly, but just, we'll just turn our eyes. We'll just pretend that we don't see that. And as long as they say that they're not officially speaking for the church, then it's okay. It's okay even if kids get murdered. It's cool. We're okay with that. That's what I see. But anyway.
Right, and all those little towns are all southeast of Salt Lake City in that valley, right? Springville, Lehigh, American Fork, they're all in that valley, right? Southeast of Utah. I'm pretty sure they are.
And Thanksgiving Point is where Sherston Stockwell, who worked for OUR in the office, administration, she was brought to Thanksgiving Point. Tim Ballard, she says, was there. Ken Krog, Hugh Vail, and Tom Harrison. And they all claim to have special intelligence of the second coming. And they talked about America being a fallen nation and about keeping the covenant, the American covenant that Tim Ballard wrote. But they really are talking about the covenant, which, anyways, my theory is weird, but it's them. Like Chad and Lori weren't trying to be exalted in the next life. They were trying to be exalted and get their 2 free tickets into this new world, this new Jerusalem, this Zion that's coming.
And their whole circle of influence was formed, in my opinion, allegedly around these LDS adjacent groups and gatherings and conventions, just
they
like that.
There.
So yes, they did. Yes, exactly. So for anybody that thinks that with Chad and Lori get sent away to prison for the rest of their lives, and maybe Chad's will be shorter than hers because he's on death row. Anybody who thinks that
he's Mormon, so it's going to be long as hell. That's
but anybody who thinks that like, what's the word I'm trying to come up with? Like that community
like that it's not
has
relevant
gone away
because they're gone. The threat is gone. Like they're the bad Mormons, and so okay, we're safe now. You got the David Hamblins out there, the Tim Ballards. Tom Harrison, in my opinion, is not a good guy. That's my opinion. Rod Meldrum, the Jameses.
Chad and Lori were not a one-off. Ruby and Jody were not one-offs. They're not one-offs, and they're not going away.
They're symptoms. They're symptoms of this prepper movement. They're just symptoms. That's it.
And hidden behind this disguise of, what do they say here? An unforgettable weekend with inspiring speakers, a band, a bookstore. Imagine that, a bookstore, booths, prizes, and uplifting messages. And that's all great. Like and of itself, that's an amazing thing to have and to host and to put on.
Not knowing what we know, though. Like these things could happen and these things could be percolating in the back, not the forefront, usually the back.
In the back rooms.
Yeah. After it's like the freak offs. Okay. It's like the white party. I'm telling you, this is the Mormon version of that's what I believe. And I mean, just I don't have anything else to really
Well, if you have any,
You know,
if you
base
need
it
any more
on.
evidence, just look at the fact that Chad and Lori were both married to other people and freaking off in their own. Oh God, that just made me a little bit sick.
Why do we have real lives of
And-
Mormon wives if they're not freaking off? Hello,
And Melanie Gibb and God, what's his name? My mind just went blank. Who
David
is Melanie?
Warwick.
Yes,
I
thank
got
you. Who had a horrible dream that night that JJ was
Yeah.
unalived. It was a horrible
No,
dream.
that was JJ's murder, in my opinion. That's what that was.
So get ready to see a new guest, a new name that we didn't see on the email flyer that went out.
Oh wait, when is this? And it is purge season, by the way. So there you go, September 20th. That's the weekend JJ was murdered. I'm not saying that there will be a murder. I'm just saying there could be some kind of ritualistic
freaking kidding me? So that was the weekend that they had their little
soirees.
podcast thing.
Well, no,
podcast.
okay. So the weekend that Tylee was murdered, they had Operation Underground Railroad sponsored race by Chad Daybell's company. Then the weekend JJ was murdered, they had Rod Meldrum's Book of Mormon Evidence Conference, and that's why allegedly David and Melanie were there. That's two. These are fronts, in my opinion.
Allegedly.
In my effing opinion. Come at me, mother effer.
Check out those guests on Friday, September 19th.
There's a Thomas Ballard. I've never heard that name.
Yeah, you heard it now. There's a. All right. Do you believe that there's no connection? I mean, it's possible there's not, but.
Well, I mean, just like when they say that Elder Ballard and Tim are not related, and I'm just like, whatever
Tim
you gotta
Ballard,
do.
Tim Ballard, Tom Ballard, they're not related in Utah. There are prizes. 8:45 p.m. will include prizes. Look at that.
They had potlucks for the preparing of people. Potlucks. They had, come on, gather all your names for genealogy to go do the, go do the names inside the temple. Blah blah blah. That's what Sean Little Bear did. That was Janelle's husband at one point.
Right.
Thank you, Sister Mother Superior. Love your name too. Thank you.
Get the best price now, $89. What a bargain. What a deal. It's supposed to be all for women though. Where did I see that? It's not for every single.
They have to have their priesthood leaders, Come on now.
Oh yeah.
I think they even have them at the girls' camps.
Connection with women. It is just for LDS women. What? And they have a bunch of guys speaking. But
so it's not just for women.
What a pool for preying on potential victims.
Check out Julie the Jesus or the Jesus. I don't know. That's an awesome name to be there. Just throwing that in there. Right there above Thomas Ballard.
Yep. And she does again on Saturday morning too. She gets to speak twice.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. Whatever they say. I hope it's legit. It better be legit. How about that? We're watching.
We are watching. I don't think I'm going though.
Take one for the team, Joe. No, don't go all the way to damn Utah for that. I mean, somebody who lives around there. Hey, anybody who got any takers? I know that Jen went to a Firm Expo. So did Hidden True Crime. And we also had Carl Danger, who went to some of Julie Rose stuff that was expensive because she's charging for energy healing, the stuff that she got excommunicated for. Anyways, are you done? Because now I got to pull mine up. I was not quite ready. So
dang it, I should have given you like a countdown of some kind.
Yeah.
We have new people coming in. Ms. Woozy, always love to see you. Life artist, good to see you. Caitlin was in here a minute ago. I hope she's still there.
Hi, Kate.
Sarah, living life with F&D. She's in here. Howdy, howdy.
Good to see you guys.
And of course, Carolina Hurtado. She told me how to pronounce her name the other day, and I know how to pronounce it.
Catalina.
Yes. You
I
say it
always
like
say Carolina. So thank you.
that's because you're from the South.
Uh-huh.
Carolina.
Hold on. I wanted to look this up too because you're talking about all this. Oh, I mean, there's one right there. I just happened to see it. Hold on. Let me get back over there. And let me share my screen. I mean, this is just a piece of one if you want to put it up there. But I'm just going to read what I can, what's visible. And it says a full feast of spiritual awakening and insight, all focused on feeling closer to our Savior Jesus Christ and bringing our contributions to his banquet table. Ooh. Oh my God, the ritualistic elements, the language is loaded here. Ugh. Thursday
When
evening,
was
November 15th. This is
what year?
2017. 2017. Around 5:30 p.m., we will meet at the Gilbert, Arizona Temple to do an endowment session together at 6:15 p.m. Sean Little Bear will again help provide names. Meet in the lobby. Anyone else can bring family names as well. And it gives the address. Isn't that where? Yeah, that's the same temple, Greenfield Road, that Alex lay in wait to go shoot at Brandon Boudreaux.
Oh my gosh.
That's the Gilbert Temple address. I didn't. And then Friday and Saturday event location is at Burke Basic Charter, whatever.
I saw. I think that was the temple that I saw when I did that drive-through reenactment on the day before I left Phoenix. When I drove from Los, what was the name of that Mexican restaurant that he stopped at? Anyway,
Janelle right here.
Janelle, hi my friend. I just texted with her yesterday. Anyway, I drove from the Mexican restaurant to Melanie's house to Brandon's house.
Yeah, I remember you doing that.
And I could see the temple from very, very close to Brandon's house, like within his subdivision.
Wow.
When I was driving past the pool, the swimming pool, I could see the temple from there.
Wow. Thank you, Denise. So here's this one too. This was Nancy James scolding somebody who was trying to call them out. And she says, just so you know, Sean Little Bear is meeting with some of the 12 apostles very soon and will receive a special calling. He couldn't hold that calling until he was married. Hence Janelle. Okay. Which is happening tomorrow. We are filming it. His brother has held LDS leadership callings for many years in Arizona. His nephew is a bishop, and he is a 7th-generation Mormon. His great-grandfather was the chief of all chiefs. I remember that because I'm just like, oh, Lord. Oh, my God. My dad used to always say that. Or the chief of all. Oh, I forget. Oh, it'll come to me. But I'm just saying and they shame them. They shame people who do try to, say, hey, this just is weird. These were some names that were turned in from my mom. My mom gave me these names. Okay. She wrote this. And so I just transferred it from what she sent me, a screenshot, of her computer or whatever. And this was sent to her on December 29, 2019. And so Sean Little Bear did contact my parents early on in the case, just saying. 12/29 at 9:57 p.m. Are any of these names familiar? Michael and Nancy James, Rod Meldrum, Christopher Perrett, Mike Stroud, Connie Kresha, Eric Andre, I don't know how to say it, Sean Little Bear, Stephen French, Jack Lyon, Jacob Fulmer, Lloyd Erickson. I don't know what 1/11/2023 is, but just interesting though.
I wonder what those asterisks were.
There's my board of people just in this little movement. And that's not all. As you can see, I had some space. But yeah.
I see I saw a familiar picture on there or two. Of people who haven't been charged yet.
Elder he was a zombie. This one right here.
Really?
Ballard and Renlund. That's Elder Apostle Renlund. 2 apostles were named zombies allegedly by Now this was in Melanie Gibb and David Warwick's, we call it the infamous Reddit email. So, I mean, I don't know if Chad Daybell and Lori deemed them as zombies, or if Melanie Gibb and David Warwick were like, oh, yep, they said this. I think David and Melanie needed a wow factor, make people stop questioning things. So they're like, yep, they believe in zombies. Yep. It's all them. We're just, we just cheat on each other. And they wouldn't even admit that. So
she did, but she didn't. It's like the 100%. So I slept with David, but not 100%.
Right. But every time she would tell on herself a little more and a little more. And when she just would, if she just would have came out and been like, yep, nobody would have dug any further as much. No, nobody would have dug as much.
She tried to claim she was in a separate bedroom and that she's like, oh, but I was there when he had that horrible nightmare.
And her credibility went downhill from there. Yep. Because we all know better. We all know better. And this is the infamous Reddit email right here. And so the infamous Reddit email has turned out to be the purest, least edited version of the events that have transpired since the fall of 2018. This email about Daybells was removed from the ex-Mormon subreddit for whatever reason approximately 4 months ago. So this was 5 years ago. This letter was posted in this sub about 4 months ago. I tried to clean it up a bit so it would be easier to read. I didn't change any words, just fixed the spacing and added some breaks. I think this is Annie that did this, I think. And I mean, down here at the very end, it says, at any time, Lori and Chad could tell the number of zombies there were in any given state, usually around 20,000 nationally. They also said 2 of the apostles are zombies, Ballard and Renland. Ballard, just know this, Ballard is known and pointed out by many of the ex-Mormons who have come out and said that they took part in the second anointing. So just know that. Like, he was flying around on the Huntsman jets allegedly and getting people to go do these secret ceremonies like what Chad and Lori did. Anyways, and it says Ballard and Renland. They also believe that the SHTF is this year and they could just possibly wait this out in Hawaii and then come back. So, but yeah, it's the most... It is.
How'd that work out for him? How'd that work out waiting in Hawaii till it all blew over and then come back?
I'll tell you what did work out for them is that they had everybody so buffaloed and people were covering for them that they were able to carry out 4 murders, rapid succession, and almost 5. They actually shot at Brandon. And my mom was on the list. And so this was gonna, I think Alex was got by them. Not Lori, not like she was there to do it, but I believe it her and Chad's direction. She started questioning, Alex, her and Chad both. I do. I don't really care about, whatever. That's his own karma. But
right with the Adelsons, with Donna Adelson's trial now, like taking up everybody's headspace and YouTube, like for hours and hours and hours and all day, every day. They did some stupid things when they took him out. When they took out Dan Markel, they did some stupid things. They were stupid criminals.
They're assholes. I'm sorry, but they are. Like,
but Dan Markel is still dead, despite the fact
that's what
that
I'm saying. Stupid. Like, yeah, no matter how, if they thought they were going to hide in the cavity of a rock, it didn't matter. The damage was done. Like, holy shit. JJ
and Tyler are gone. Charles is gone.
This also disputes, or what am I trying to say, is a rebuttal to what prosecution brought forward, saying that Chad, David included, was trying to build a church of the firstborn there in Rexburg. Remember the lot that David Warwick went to look at, and oh no, I don't do that on Sundays. I don't work on Sundays. Yet he went. And so So if Chad and Lori were going to be building a whole freaking church, why were they still members of the church? Why did Chad hold a calling and in the church? Why did they flee to Hawaii? I mean, it says it in this email, and this was written by Warwick and Gibb. They were just going this year, and they could just wait this out in Hawaii and then come back. I mean, they were found in Hawaii. Why would they build a church like miles from the temple that is already there? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. So I think that's just the story. And I mean, I know that Rob Wood, he's a Latter-day Saint. Hell, he was a bishop. I don't know if he was in a bishop at the same ward Chad Daybell was. And I mean, I don't know if that meant that he was a bishop and then Chad worked under him. I don't know where he was. You know, they scrub all that shit. Trust me. I looked. So
well, if they build their own temple, then she can't ever have a husband come and take away her temple recommend, because she gives those
no
out
kidding.
to herself
She'll
for her
kill for
own
it.
temple. Yep.
And I don't think she's alone in this, because there are so many other Mormons. Hector Sosa was telling everybody to shut everything down. Just don't talk about multiple mortal probations. And I forget the other thing. And I mean, they were shutting it down and just saying to lie. So it's like, So here's another, I have all kinds of stuff. Julie was promoted as being on the private forum, and so people paid to join that. This is from LDS Freedom Forum. And after a couple tiny posts, she left AVAL once again. My friend went to one of the early preparedness conferences a few years back where she asked both Roger K. Young and Christopher Perrett if Julie was legit. And they swore up and down she was, just like y'all heard me read Nancy James post about Sean Little Bear. They endorse, okay? They do that. They asked Christopher Perrett and Roger Young if Julie was legit, and they swore up and down she was. Christopher was also selling a preparedness manual that he was telling people was the official manual the church leaders go by. It was not. It was just information Christopher collected from others and sold as official. Now they're parading Sean Little Bear out as some Native American shaman record keeper. Apparently, he also converted the guy Dan Judd that claims to have the lost. Okay. Oh, no, that's from Nancy. Hold on. I have the that cuts off there. Sorry, I don't know why it does this. And yeah, here's a little graph I made. You know, Chad and Lori, Melanie, David, Zelema, Alex, Melanie, Pulowski spelled wrong, Ian, and then Preparing a People, Greater Tomorrow, Sean Little Bear.
I think you're gonna have to add Fortified in Christ. I really do. If Cedar Fort is a sponsor of that event, I honestly believe like we need to keep an eye on that.
This is what they would look like. All are welcome to attend. It's a free event and doors open at 6:30 p.m. Come early and get a good seat. I will have a limited supply of books available to buy at the event. His books, Jason Mao's books, were sold in Deseret Book Store. You know, he did signings there. If you already have one or all of my books, bring them and I will autograph them for you. And then look this little hooker down here. Okay. This is at Burke Basic School. There's a lot of charter schools around there. I'm surprised Life Academy was not Mormon. She didn't sound Mormon, at least. For Lori to bring JJ there, I guess maybe it's because there was such a good school for his exact needs, you know.
Staying out of the box.
So specific.
Who is
That's
staying
Melanie
out of the
Gibb. Staying out of the
real?
box is her username. I'll be there.
She didn't use that with David Warwick.
No. So
Yeah,
I need to hit
there.
all these. I need, yeah.
Right.
And her husband was dark too. She, not in those words, but he had darkness in his eyes. Is what the brother-in-law, the brother of the guy.
They're called pupils. I have darkness in my eyes too.
See, I mean, Preparing People Conference in Rexburg, Idaho, March 9th, 10th, 2018.
Does it not
Nancy
give you
James.
similar vibes to that one that was in my email? Like,
Yes.
not identical, but similar.
That's why you think I'm harping around this now. Now I'm like, okay, time to make that point. Time to make that point. And then look, Eric Smith published this multiple probations, a lost doctrine remembered. And I did not buy it because I'm tired of buying their shit, first off. I'm tired of paying subscriptions to Hulu, all the things y'all I did. And I mean, it'll break you. It will break you. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah. It's 31 minutes long of just screenshots just going. And I haven't
Wherever
published.
You want to take us. Wherever you want to take us.
Am I there?
You're there.
I mean, there we go. Celestial code word for plural marriage is required. This is from richardsonstudios.com. And he says Jacob 2 and Book of Mormon plural marriage evidence. And this is a Mormon, okay? The Book of Mormon talks about 1-to-1 ratio as a standard in Jacob 2. But who is the audience? The book was not written to people who are living celestial law. It was written to people who are hell-bound sinners, not ready for the higher law.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He starts out swinging right out of the gate.
Look, and right here, but we'll be when we go to Zion. If y'all think about it under this NWO, like I think it is, tracks.
Here's what gets me about this article, because that's how Chad and Lori got off of the track of standard Mormon doctrine by interpreting their interpretation.
But it is standard Mormon doctrine, but it's plausible deniability for the church, in my opinion, because they are the ones who had to officiate this and invite. Like, it has to be the prophet of the Mormon church at the time, which would have been Nelson. He had to have personally selected names, Chad and Lori's names. Okay, in order for it to be this, if it was the second anointing, if it was or not, I don't know. It was not there. But if you read the James and Elena story that Chad Daybell wrote, and if you read, if you know what like Melanie Gibb has testified to over time, because trust me, it's been sprinkled and never, she's got to be forced into a corner and tricked, basically. But she did say that it didn't happen in the temple. Then she said it happened in the temple, but not in the sealing room. And I'm just like, whatever. And then we had Nicole Heidemann, who testified. She's an FBI analyst, and she said that she brought her receipts, records from the church, who put Chad and Lori swiping in November 16, 2018, which is a Friday. So that kind of threw me, because November 16, 2018 was a Preparing a People conference in Mesa, Arizona. But that Mike Stroud spoke at, I have that talk the weekend that they were sealed. Okay. That he said, hey, Mike James. No, not Mike James, but anyways, he said, hey, Mike, talking about Mike James. And then he said, Jason, Chad, Thor, wow. Or Jason, I think. Anyways. So Mike Stroud even says they're there. He's addressing them in his speech. You can't see it, but you can hear it. And then, that's right out the gate too. And then you have, like I said, Nicole Heidemann saying November 16th, which was a Friday. So according to my research, when I look into the second anointing, I have found that it's been practiced on a Sunday. And then, so I was like, yes, that's when the temple's closed. And that makes sense if you're doing secret shit. But let's just say, if I'm the church and I'm giving records to the FBI who's requesting them, am I going to put that I'm there on Sunday and that they swipe their cards on Sunday and then really tell them myself? Because you shouldn't be open to the just special couples giving this second anointing blessing on a Sunday. That would kind of give you away, in my opinion. So maybe they said it was a Friday. Either way, they said it was a Friday, November 16, 2018. And that's when Chad and Lori were sealed to one another. And that's when James and Elena were born. What do you do? What do you do when you're dealing with people who don't value the truth at all?
Well, that's exactly the point that I was trying to make about that opening paragraph in that letter, document, whatever you want to call it. So he says the Book of Mormon talks about 1-to-1 ratio as the standard for marriage, in parentheses, in Jacob 2. But who is the audience? Right away, he's saying the audience isn't us people who have a higher standard, like the people who are following all of the Mormon precepts to become exalted and get to the celestial kingdom. The Book of Mormon is only speaking to the lesser people who are going to hell. So we don't need to pay attention to it, and we can reinterpret it however we like. So
It was written
that
to people like Chad and Lori who are effing each other behind
Yes.
each other for David and Melanie. Yeah. Yeah.
We can interpret it however we want, and we're not sinning because we are able to reinterpret it because it's not written for us.
If you are doing this celestial marriage, this plural marriage, it is secret. It is behind the eyes of everybody else. Okay. It has to. The only way it can happen in the church is if the prophet is like, okay, literally gives this blessing. And then the 2 apostles, for sure, there's been 3. I know of 2 right now. Ballard is an alleged apostle who would go and do these things, okay, these ceremonies. And I don't know if it was Renlund. Oh my God, what's the other guy's name? He's another apostle. Oh my God. It'll come to me. Anyways, either way, these do happen. And that's why the church, the church is able to get away. Let's say that they stopped practicing plural. Let's say they really didn't lie about stopping the practice. Okay. Let's just pretend. Well, here we go. I have this pulled up. So let's just say that, though. Let's just read this, though, because this is what Goel has reported about the Hamblin case. This text is an introduction to an ebook titled Investigations in Ritual Abuse, which focuses on the allegations made by the Hamblin sisters concerning a satanic cult operating within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And the Hamblin sisters' allegations. The investigation began in 2012 when a woman, Catherine Helena Winters Hamblin, accused her father, a former psychologist, of sexual assault. She and her sisters, Rachel Rosa Lee Hamblin and Eliza Hamblin, later expanded their allegations to include their parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other extended family members. The women claim to have been part of a group known as the Church of Satan, or the Group. Lori and Chad were also known as the Group anyways, which operated covertly within the LDS Church. They alleged a systematic and horrific pattern of abuse, including being forced to torture and dismember family pets to demonstrate their loyalty to the cult. The LDS Church of Satan, according to the sisters, this alleged group had its own detailed mythology that inverted LDS beliefs. They believed that Lucifer, not Christ, was the rightful heir to Heavenly Father's throne, and that they, as his followers, were working to help him attain his inheritance. The cult members allegedly performed inverted LDS rituals and ordinances to glorify Lucifer, aiming to attain power and status in his future kingdom. Their mission was to profane the sacred within the LDS Church to bring about Lucifer's ascent. Here we go. All right. LDS Doctrine and History. The author, I got this from Goel, so just know that. And he's Mormon, so the author highlights specific aspects of LDS history and doctrine that are relevant to the alleged cult's inversions. The Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith. The text provides a brief overview of the Book of Mormon's narrative and how the 1835 revision of the Doctrine and Covenants expanded Joseph Smith Jr.'s prophetic mandate from a single gift, translating the book, to an open-ended path for future revelations. This evolution is presented as a foundational element that allowed for later innovations within the church's beliefs. It was like Brigham Young was like, oh, yeah. 3 degrees of glory, which Visions of Glory is written basically with this in mind, Anyways, LDS doctrine describes a celestial, terrestrial, and telestial kingdom after death. Lori and Chad even referred to their victims as the telestial relatives that were obstacles. Just know that. The text notes a significant departure from Orthodox Christianity, right? It's Mormonism, as it allows those who reject Christ to enter the telestial kingdom after. So this is Lori, in my opinion. This is Lori and Chad. It allows those who reject Christ to enter the telestial kingdom after 1,000 years in a prison resembling hell, rather than facing eternal damnation. Okay, so they can work it up. Here we go. Plural marriage and exaltation. The introduction delves into the history of plural marriage, which was a core practice for achieving the exaltation and godhood in the celestial kingdom. It explains that the practice was publicly being the key word there, renounced by President Wilford Woodruff in the 1890 manifesto to avoid the annihilation of the church by the U.S. government, but it continued in secret. Oh my God. This historical context is used to show how the Hamblin sisters' claims of secret plural marriages and ordinances within the cult could be rooted in a real, though controversial, part of LDS history. Orson Pratt's 1852 address, which declared plural marriage essential for, quote, noble parentage, unquote, to bring forth, quote, great ones, the noble and great ones, hello, fallen angels, hello, for the final dispensation, is mentioned as a key justification for the practice.
Final dispensation. Does that word sound familiar from Lori's case? Dispensation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. That's the final. Yes. That's the last. Yeah. That's all of them. The role of genealogy. This is the last page, I think. Yeah. Genealogy is a central practice for both Orthodox LDS members and the alleged satanic cult. For mainstream Latter-day Saints, it is essential for performing temple ordinances on behalf of their deceased ancestors to offer them a path to the celestial kingdom. The church maintains a massive collection of records in its granite mountain vault for this purpose, and they do. And not just theirs, everybody's. For the alleged Church of Satan, genealogy was also vital, but for a different reason. The Hamblin sisters claimed their family believed they belonged to a royal bloodline within the church, and they used these records to conduct inverted rituals for their ancestors. So there's that.
So for every one of the baptisms for the dead that I did, somebody went and did an unbaptism for the undead?
I hope not. I need to do that because my name's probably in there too.
It is.
I
It definitely
I want
is.
it undone. I don't want it. I don't think it's right for them to do that at all. I mean, if they don't even ask your permission, what the hell else you think they do? Okay. I don't need people to save me. Stop. That's what this is. And that's what Tim does. That's what Jody, Ruby, Lori, Chad. That's what this is, allegedly. I mean, they're trying to save people, but they can't even save themselves. Like they are just so stuck up, and I mean, they got it all wrong, right? It's inverted for sure. And that's not my problem anymore, but it is our problem because there's so many other people who are not behind bars who are thinking that they're saving us. Okay. We don't need saving. They're not gods.
It is a compelling drive for members of the church who have got their endowments. So that means if you're a man, you've gone on a mission and you've come back and you've gotten married in the temple, you got sealed in the temple, you're starting to procreate, you have kids, and it's a compelling interest to go to the temple and do whatever in the temple that they're going to do wherever they go. Like if you're going to go visit your family, say you live in California and you come visit your family in Indiana,
you might go to the
Yeah.
temple in Indianapolis and perform whatever they did on a Saturday morning and then go rejoin your family later, like hypothetically, allegedly.
Lori did this. Mhm.
Yeah,
Lori did it.
going every day is out of the ordinary. Going every day is way out of the ordinary.
This is hard to see, but you can still see it. I do have clearer copies, but I don't right now. I mean, on hand. So this was Saturday, September 21st, 2019. So this is the weekend, the night. JJ was either murdered 22nd or 23rd. We don't know. Tylee was either murdered the 8th or the 9th of September. We don't know. So this is Jason Mal. Okay. I just kind of stuck them together. This is the magician that they like to use, whatever that means. But the sketch, see how I want you to just take note of this itinerary, this flyer. So he was allegedly in the Billings Stake Center in Billings, Montana, which I Googled. It was like 500 and something miles away from Rexburg. But was Jason there, or is this just a cover? Because I'm asking that because could he have been there in Rexburg? And then looking at how basic this thing is compared to the other ones, this says Friday, September 20th, 5 p.m. registration and housing assignments. Ooh, sounds fun. This is at a singles ward, by the way.
Housing
Belvedere
assignments?
building. Huh?
That sounds like that event that they had in Rexburg the weekend that JJ was unalived. I mean, they had housing.
Well, but that was a whole nother, that was another one, like why did, and if so, then why would Jason create a whole nother one? Is it just really, this is how they move? That's interesting to me.
It is.
So it's just a very basic, and they're not basic people. They're extra in everything. Their resumes are loaded. I mean, they all the credibility, and dropping names and callings and So this is just Belvedere Buildings dinner, 7 to 8 Richard magic presentation. We had 2 dicks, really, because his name is Richard and his name is Richard. If you really think about it, I like calling it out. So, and then this dick over here, Richard, he did a magical presentation allegedly. It's from 7 to 8. So I bet that was just stock.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
There's a difference between a magic presentation and a magical presentation. Like there's a difference.
I didn't know that.
That strikes me as very odd that they would call it a magical presentation instead of magic act or something like that.
Magic show. I mean, that's
right.
Pretty.
Yeah. Magical presentation.
And so this guy here, Richard Young, not to be confused with Roger Young. Richard Young is from Canada, and he has a website called, Richard Young, and it's like I fool you. Let me see if it'll pull it up. It probably would pull it up better if I spelled it right. Here we go. Anyways, at ifoolu.com.
This looks like a web page that was created in 2003.
I know. Oh, wait. Is that his? Okay, hold on. Let's look at the clients because it's interesting.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Big corporations.
I don't see any Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in there.
Hold on. Let's see if we have, what's the name of that Cedar Fort? Let's see.
Cedar Fort Publishing, yeah.
No, we don't. We have Cardston Lions Club. We have Dale Carnegie Training. Hold on. Father James Wilahan Elementary School. I don't know how to say that. Look all the preschools.
What is that picture on the right side?
A dove and a little girl and his hand.
Okay. Couldn't see it very clearly.
Hold on, I'm trying to. Oh wait, I think they have the corporations down here. Rick's College. There you go. Boom.
Is that now BYU Idaho?
Schlumberger, Canada, right here. Shell, Canada, right here. Southland Leisure Center, Southland Registry, South Trail Chiropractic, Standard Lionettes, Sure System Ltd, Suzuki Piano Association,
Oh no,
Tabor.
I don't think this guy's Mormon because he has performed for the Great Whore of Babylon, the Catholic Church. Look at all of those saints in the next.
They're all friends in the end. I have pictures of the apostles meeting with the Pope. They just, I mean, they were going to build, if they haven't already, build a temple in Rome.
We were taught from a very young age that the Catholic Church was the Great Whore of Babylon. Like that was the evilest evil of organizations. Yeah,
Bruce R. McConkie for sure was all about that. Here's Sundance Community Association. I don't know if it's to do with Sundance. But I mean, think about Gordon Bowen and think about Robert Redford. You know, they I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing. So it's just interesting. Okay, so that's what they're doing. This is all who they service. This churches. Here we go. Okay, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, right there.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah. I'm glad you said something because
I was looking for it. Churches. Okay.
Yeah. And then this is freaky. Is all these play schools right here to the right. I'm sorry. That's freaky to me. Exxon Mobil, Field and Field, Foothills, Evergreen Retirement Residence, Elk Valley Coal. It's interesting. I'll grab the link and then y'all can go take a look at it because I need y'all to do some digging. Help us. It's called ifoolu.com. There you go. But just to go back to what I was talking about with, let me find the one.
I'm guessing he doesn't bite the heads off the doves. No Ozzy Osbourne routine there.
This is another conference that I just remembered, you know. This is Jason Mal right here, keynote speaker, the Warrior Ethos, March 9, 2023, PhoenixMetroChamber.com. This is in Scotts, Arizona. And the speaker is Connie Kadansky. Win the inner game of prospecting. Wicked Awesome Happy Hour is sponsoring it. Decap Claims. I don't know. My Biz Coaches. Next Evolution Environment for Success. So see, this is like a business one. Business panel. I'm just saying.
What is that? What is that Phoenix thing down in the lower left corner? Is that Phoenix University?
Phoenix Metro Chamber of Commerce is what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's an interesting logo.
I can do that so that
it's a very interesting logo.
Anderson, Sky Anderson. Anderson. Okay. And then I showed y'all, oh, hello. I showed y'all this the other day. This is John McCain, and that's Jason Mal, Jason's two kids. His daughter worked at Disney World as Elsa the princess, or Elsa, whatever, and other Disney princesses. This looks like one of those cool Maria Abramovich. Is it? I think that's where they really MK people. Really bad. Lori went there a lot. And then I have this too. Let me see. Oh, wait. That's just... Okay. Hold on. Why is it so tiny? That's what she said.
You beat me to it.
This letter from the general that said, "I'm coming to get you."
It's bad quality, but...
Was he upset? No. He shouted for joy. He said, at least Moroni hasn't given up hope. At least he's standing for what's right. And he celebrated the fact that Moroni refuses to compromise with evil. That's the kind of person that I want you to be. That's the hero that we should put on our walls and point to our children and say, this is what a hero, this is what a champion, this is what a warrior looks like. Be like him. Be like Tianka.
Carry a spear or a sword.
That the enemy can't hide from you. That you can wade through everything the enemy has. You can get past all of their defenses. And you can get right to the heart of the evil and you can stab it out.
Oh.
And then you can back.
Holy cow.
Oh.
That's if I'm a kid, honest to goodness, if I'm a child, anybody all the way up to 55 years old, I see a spear and I see a sword and I hear a guy saying stab it out.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
the evil heart of evil.
disturbing.
And I hear Lori and Chad saying, we did. And we got punished for it.
That you can wade through everything the enemy has. You can get past all of their defenses. And you can get right to the heart of the evil and you can stab it out.
Yeah,
and then,
that's it. That's what it, yeah.
That is disturbing.
And he's a seminary teacher. He is on the church payroll. He didn't get excommunicated, Adam. He got promoted. So did Tom Harrison. I mean, they all did.
You can back away and you can have that reputation that nothing is going to stop you from destroying evil. Guys, this is what our kids need to read. These are the people.
Sorry. Stop,
These books are what your kids need to read. Please buy them now.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, just back to this, just basic thing. The same weekend that JJ was murdered, was he there? Was he not there? I'll never know. You know, these are just some flyers. Here's some flyers. Meet Dan Judd at our preparingapeople.com conference. This is August 23rd, 2017. The Inheritor of the Mormon Box. Saturday, September 9th from 9 to 5. Other speakers, LDS Medicine Man, Sean Littlebear, Lost Records, Mike Simpson, Healing. I looked into his nonprofits and stuff, and it's got to do with turtles and saving the ocean over there by Atlantis and all kinds of stuff. Hector Sosa and Chad Daybell speaking about prophecy and things to come and more with Sean Littlebear and Mike Simpson. And this one is DNC. For intelligence cleaveth unto intelligence. Wisdom receiveth wisdom. Truth embraceth truth. Virtue loveth virtue. Light cleaveth on, I guess, whatever, I can't see it, to life. With Keith Levitt, whom I believe they did say showed up to the property that David Warwick was being shown by Chad Daybell and 8 others. Okay, so there's that. And then
he ate others.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did that backwards.
No, you didn't. I'm just juvenile making a joke.
Okay, well that's usually me, but probably because I was reading, so I didn't catch it. But I mean, Rod Meldrum, Dean Sessions, Steve Smoot, Jason Mao, Chad Daybell, Hector Sosa Jr., Mike Simpson, Marilyn Light, Bruce Porter. Chad wrote about him in the James Elena story. Sean Littlebear, Russ Barlow. The Barlows, their name, I see the Barlow name throughout Tim Ballard stuff too. So there's that. Carrie Guthrie, she's an artist. Ray Elder. October 27th, October 26th. They don't really put years on here for some reason, but this was the weekend that Chad and Lori met. Look, wait, hold on. The Universal Model has 2 presidents.
2018 on there. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Huh.
It says previously in 2018, but that doesn't mean that it's not still 2018.
Now I'm like, what? So, Preparing a People Conference in St. George, Utah. This will be our first conference at the St. George Academy, 380, whatever. And we are pleased to be a part of the excitement surrounding the event at this new school. Previously in 2018, both in St. George and Cedar City. Okay. That's double meaning, kind of. Previously in 2018, both in St. George and Cedar City, the universal model was presented at the 2 Kimber Academy schools, and some of the first field trips were conducted in the surrounding areas. We had great participation with both students and parents learning how the sandstone and blah. I don't know. Okay, that's just a single of that one. And that's the same one. Same one. Oh, I made this. There's a lemma, Lori, and Melanie. Anyways, I have to blow off steam sometimes.
Yeah, Lauren has his speech that day that he met her in St. George.
Yeah, she does.
But I don't want to get struck, so we don't have to watch it. Plus,
Right.
it probably gets sick anyway.
Tom Harrison, this is the book under Lori's leg as she was being served by the Kauai Police Department. Tom Harrison has held a significant role within the church for many years. Retired LCSW therapist with a focus on child SA care. Inspiration and author of the controversial LDS book Visions of Glory, One Man's Near-Death Experience, which I believe he just lied. I believe he lied. And just like Chad, just like Julie, just like all of them, and said that in order for people to buy it, to believe them, like, oh, I had this experience, so therefore I'm not really remote viewing. Anyways, before the tragic killings of Tammy, Tylee, JJ, and Charles in 2019, Chad Daybell and Julie Rowe would meet with Tom Harrison at his Salt Lake City office, where he instructed them on remote viewing, astral projection, and portals. What is this? Oh, I got these off of like academia.com. Academia.com.
Macadamia?
Academia. I don't know how to say it. I forget. But like because they were talking about estates, and that's what Chad and Lori were teaching. The scriptures also speak of those whom are foreordained. That's a key word that Mike Stroud uses that Lori used. Unto condemnation. Those who are called the children of Satan or of the evil one, who rebelled in the world before, because they don't believe in prior lives. So just know that. And were cast down here for disobedience. They are called the son of perdition in other places, for they were all males, and they were cast. They don't know how to spell. Cast down for having rebelled in the presence of the Father, which is an unforgivable sin in that world. Well, whatever. Dilemma was telling us all about the worlds and different things and different whatever,
Yeah, and Mormon lingo, dog whistles. Preordained. Yes. Preordained is huge.
Foreordained
is different. Foreordained is not the same as preordained.
But here's Joseph Smith's Masonic apron. So there's that.
That's in the museum. That's in a church museum.
There you go. So I mean, it's like they don't hide it, but they also don't promote that. Look at the all-seeing eye at the top.
Yep.
And then actually, hold on. Let me show this first. I'm sorry, the way it came out, but I have interviewed numerous individuals who fearfully tell of witnessing and or participating in dark rituals underneath the LDS temple in Salt Lake City. At first, I thought these individuals were psychologically imbalanced, for their stories were so bizarre, so very bizarre, that they could not have possibly been true. Imagine the hierarchy sacrificing human infants and even consuming human flesh during candlelit secret ceremonials. Now, however, I am more inclined, I don't know the rest.
That's basically the definition of cognitive dissonance right there. Like you just described it in a nutshell. Bring that back up just for a second. I want to repeat that one phrase. At first, I thought these individuals were psychologically imbalanced, for their stories were so bizarre that they could not have possibly been true. That's cognitive dissonance, whether it's politics or religion or family matters, personal matters. Like that is the definition of cognitive dissonance.
Or believing victims when they're telling you these crazy stories. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with them. It's crazy, but there's too many of the same story. And I got this from Faithful Latter-day Saints when they address these things. Let's talk about temples and ritual. You know, the book also explores the relationship between Freemasonry practices and modern day temple rituals, the significance of the temple garments, and why the administration of ordinances has changed over time. I mean, they do talk about some of the things, but see, I got this from, oh crap, it didn't show Freemasonry in the temple. I mean, it's just, it's like you're fighting an uphill battle.
Where'd the map
Oh, here.
go?
I got this from this academia website. Now, look, Chad Daybell did not create that shit, y'all, is what I'm saying.
Wait, what? What is this? Explain, please.
I mean, this is the first. Okay, the first is they became sons of perdition. There are no daughters of perdition, as per whatever BY and myself. So we have a third part of creation falling around 33 males. Shocker. That leaves 17 males to 50 females, or in other worlds, 3-to-1 ratio. Then in Isaiah 4, we find in that day a term used by Isaiah for the millennial realm that 7 women will seek 1 man. So we loose, not lose, even more men in relation to women in the second estate, arriving unto 7 women to 1 man. But women can in the second estate go to hell. So we also had to loose, not lose, a portion of each. I mean, this is the same thing, like numbers and percentage of men who progress in each estate. Creation number 1, first estate, second estate, third estate. Baby fourth estate, junior fourth estate, senior. I mean, I don't understand it. I never will. I've tried. Trust me. And I'm still going to continue trying.
And I don't know why any man wants to spend an eternity with 7 women either.
Right. I mean, yeah, it says men have a 1 in 1 point, I don't even know, billion odds of progressing throughout the 4 estates of probation and becoming a god. The total number of men that come down upon earth within the second estate portion of this creation is whatever 8.1 whatever billion, and all these numbers, okay, not including Adam, his Eves, the Messiah,
Eves,
and Satan.
plural.
Yeah, they're not talking about on a house.
That was a joke, people. Don't get
no,
twisted.
we laughed. I mean, this is the same thing that Chad Daybell was reporting. And I mean, yeah, here's the name of this paper. It's called Odds of Progressing Through the First 4 Estates of Probation and Becoming a God or Goddess. Well, that's what I'm a goddess, you know.
Karen nailed it right there.
What?
It is a male fantasy. It is the male fantasy of all LDS men seeking exaltation. 7 women all himself.
A harem, basically. Yep. Which is the same thing that, oh God, I always forget his name. Charles Manson, you know, that's basically what he was doing.
Yep.
But I mean, they're not the first ones and they're not going to be the last, y'all. This is all, I've found so many papers like this because I was like, it's not original. This is not original at all. Period. And then they just term it at, oh, look, here's it's a bad, I mean, I tried fixing it. As you can see, AI does not do a good job. It was a long time ago. This is Glenn Beck. This is President Ford. Wait, that's his name? President
Carter?
I think he was president. Yeah, Carter. Jimmy Carter. Yeah, that's who it was. Whenever I was born, it was Jimmy Carter. That's him. There's some rabbi guy. Next to him, there's some father. Catholic, you know, right there. And this is whenever they're this is whenever the 2015 eclipse happened. So there's that. Yeah. And there's Cuckoo. Cuckoo Cachoo. That's the best little picture. His crazy eyes and everything. at the Preparing a People conference where he met Lori.
Just don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Ah.
There's a Wasatch. Wake up. Imminent. Because I believe, I'm telling you, if I didn't do all the research that I did, then I would be like, okay, yeah, no. But I mean, there's fault lines, and they have, you can go look it up, look up at all the fault lines and see how there's grids set up around them, on top of them, talking about all this stuff. And I think all they have to do is just hit a button, and then they can cause natural disasters. Anyways,
yeah, Jeff's got a point that I want to address. So LDS leaders think so highly of themselves, which is contrary to the Bible. No way. Romans 12:3 says, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought. But Mormons can discount it. And this goes back to the conversation we had at the very beginning of tonight. They can say, as far as the Bible is translated correctly. In other words, they can retranslate it whenever they want. They can say that.
And they did. He did.
Yes. Yep.
And that was a very narcissistic comment to make anyways, to say that it's not right. Okay, this was a 14, 15-year-old dude, who just comes in swinging, because an angel of light visited him in the damn trees in the woods, and then he just thinks he's the know-all be-all. And I mean, this is the origins of this.
Exactly.
Who implemented temple ceremony? Implemented Freemason endowments into the temple ordinance, which the temple is separate from the church anyways, and it is a secret society because not everybody can go. Not even the members of the church can walk in there and go. And think about Barry Cox with his self-righteous ass saying and judging and snubbing his nose up. And you know who else was a temple worker? It could still be Tom Harrison. So I'm just saying, I don't trust their judgment, period. Just because you say you're holy does not mean you're holy. In fact, you're less holy. Make it make sense.
No.
Yes, make it make sense. Yeah. So this is David Hamblin. This is from floodlit.org. If you can, y'all go there and help these people. They keep a large database of Mormon Mormon SA cases and stuff. Somebody had to. And this is case number 148. David Lee Hamblin, born in 1954, also known as Dave Hamblin. Dave Hamblin was an LDS church member in Utah. He served callings, I'll tell you that. Arrested in 2022 and charged with SA of a child connected to an ongoing investigation into ritualistic sex abuse in Utah involving, and I'm going to say his daughters have named 144 people. Okay. And they're not just members, they're people that hold callings and that are of their family even. Anyways, ex-husband of Roselle Stevenson, and Roselle was actually Anderson, then she became Hamblin, and then she became Stevenson, who was arrested in 2023. So both of them were arrested in 2022 and 2023 and charged with child SA. Worked in the LDS church as an elders quorum president, this one right here. And David Hamblin and his ex-wife, Roselle Stevenson, were LDS Mormon church members in Utah who allegedly took part in ritualistic child SA over a period of multiple years with multiple victims. New case said 6 counts of aggravated SA of a child filed in 6th District Court Manti against David Lee Hamblin. This latest victim came forward after Hamblin was arrested and booked on 9/28/22. And I mean,
he's in charge. He's in charge of the elders quorum right now.
No, so he was.
Okay, the elders quorum.
He's not even Mormon anymore.
Right, but at that time, the elders quorum is still men who are 18 young men who are 18 and over and have just received the Melchizedek priesthood. So young, impressionable, and getting ready to go out and serve their mission.
Yeah, I'm just keep on talking. I'm looking for a video real quick.
It's just Robbie. Robbie, hey, I've seen a lot of your comments, and
Robbie's my boy.
I want to react to all of them, but I can't react to all of them. But this one struck me because they do that in the Catholic priesthood. Like, we're not just talking about the LDS because they're the only high demand religion that's doing things that we should be looking at. Catholics do too, and Methodists and non-denominational, and I'm not going to mention all the others because somebody's going to come at me, but
I mean,
religions
just
are like that. Yeah.
Okay, I found what I was looking for. Anyways, you too. Anyways, all right. So this is part 2, Beyond the Altar, a pattern too disturbing to ignore. And this is We Are the People YouTube channel. Jason Preston, he actually spoke at the Book of Mormon Evidence Firm Foundation events. So did Ryan Fisher, So anyways, this is interesting though, and it's relevant to Chad and Lori. Join Jason Preston, Goel, and Brett Henry in part 2 of our explosive investigation into Provo's altar house, diving deeper into the shocking web of elite owners tied to this area. After the viral response to our first episode, we're answering your questions. Who owned this house? From Donnie Osmond, that Chad Daybell took a selfie with, remember? To LDS general authorities like Craig Christensen, who's named in the Hamblin documents as one of the 144, alleged assailants. The ownership trail at 4545 Brookshire Drive reveals chilling connections to the Hamblin victim statements and alleged LDS Church of Satan networks. Brett unpacks his 2020 tour of the house, complete with a tiled altar, camera mounts, and a sealed basement, while Goel exposes a pattern of property transfers among Provo's powerful, including bloodline ties and names like Critchfield, North, and Harris. Are these off-market deals hiding ritual abuse? We connect the dots to broader corruption, from Epstein's client list to local cover-ups, showing how Utah's elite cluster in quote-unquote hotspots like Edgemont Ward to protect their secrets. This isn't just a house. It's a window into a battle of light versus dark. Survivors are speaking, and we are amplifying their truth. All right. So I'm going to play. I need to pull the transcript up, though, before I even do. That way I can dart around. Okay. Unmute.
Whose home it was, and we decided for the time being, there's no reason to do that. At least we decided not to do it. And then we started having some conversations with some people in the background, particularly Goel, who had done a deep dive on that. And we realized we can't not talk about this home. And I think some things he's going to share today with you will probably solidify that this stuff is
Wait, hold on. I just typed it in, but I can't type it in and it stay on it. Okay, so I'm just going to run it to here.
That would be Alexander and Mary Lou Terrazon.
He's hard to hear.
Yeah, the Terrazons resold this property back to the Christensens in 2025, according to the real estate records. Now, another incredible coincidence is that just a block over on Redford, Brad and Terry Box live. During the time that Katie Hamlin was attending Tippmew High School, Brad Mox was the principal. And he has 2 homes on Redford that he has owned. 875 and 903.
This guy is right down my alley. This guy's right down my alley. I love this.
This is Goel.
1996 to 2020.
This is
I have never seen him before, and I dig him already, like from the word
This is the investigator that was hired to investigate into the Hamblin allegations. That way you can basically hand it off to prosecution
Oh, I
into
love it.
here, and he's proved it, like, to corroborate what the girls have alleged, like where they lived, if it's like if that could even be possibly true because of where people live, and they seem to live in these circular neighborhoods where there's a lot of property, like you're seeing right now, bought up, in the same area, and they just continue to sell each other homes. Think about Jody Hildebrand. Whenever she was arrested, I want to say somebody, I don't really know right offhand, or, to speak to it, but I remember something along the lines of her selling it to somebody sold it to her, just kind of keeping up with who's who in the neighborhood, because these things are better insulated whenever they can keep the abuse within. Okay, so anyways.
So what you're starting to see is a concentration of ownership in this real estate. You'll see this name over and over again if you go through the property records in this area, Homelick. But at the end of the day, the central question here, this had 5 owners. Started with the Critchfields, who sold to Donnie and Deborah Osmond.
Oh my God.
Donnie and Deborah Osmond then sold it to Jordan North. Jordan North then sold it to Craig Cloward Christensen and his wife. And then they sold it to the Harrises.
And
the question is whether or not that altar was an original part of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And who exactly in the ownership of that house was using that structure for what purpose?
Yeah,
Okay, now I'm going to back up to the actual altar so you'll know what the hell we're talking about. Oh, great. Hold on.
I'm on the edge of my seat, like almost literally.
Okay.
This is my jam. Like the property records, tax records, all of that. Like, I dig it.
Let's see. All right.
Incredible job. So let's just bring it right back to you, Brett.
Yeah.
Tell us give us a little recap to our audience and bring us up to speed, and then we'll bring Goel on and have him share what he's learned.
So, I mean, it is probably about a month ago now. I posted a video with just this house I went in the early in 2020 is a foreclosure house, and I went and showed it to a client, and just like, it's the creepiest house I've ever been in. I didn't really understand why it was creepy. It's just weird. And further I got in there, the more and more weird things kept popping up. And so then a month ago, I was scrolling through my pictures and this popped up. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make a post about this. Just like this creepy house I went in. It looked like there was an altar room. Posted it like at midnight, went to bed, woke up the next morning to a ton of views on it. I mean, 100,000 views on it overnight, and hundreds of messages in my inbox saying like, this is satanic ritual abuse. I've been abused in rooms like this. A lot of people knowing exactly whose house this was. And so I was just like, this is the first time I've ever heard of satanic ritual abuse. And since then, I keep getting dozens of messages every single day from survivors of it. So, I mean, to say it's not real is absurd.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No, and what a blessing for you to shine the light on it. So, Goel,
show it.
We've got you back. You're out there kicking butt. You saw the show. You've obviously been in the loop. Is there something there? What are your thoughts? Tell us what you
Let me go find it. I thought they showed it. Hold on.
In terms of direct proof that ritual abuse occurred at that location, I don't have.
You showed it to me the other day.
Yeah, but I didn't show it to everybody.
In terms of coincidences,
that's what she said.
Up and down foothill.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, that is what she said. I heard her. I did. Okay, ready? So this is how he was introduced to SRA. It's interesting.
Have it finished up later today.
Oh God!
Guys, here's a picture.
Lamb, his child of God, and being healed, kneeling at his feet. His
been in.
Oh crap!
Guys, here's a picture of the creepiest house I've ever been in. This house was built by a very, very famous Utah celebrity. I call this an altar room.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing a video diving more into what this house was, what this room was used for. And I'm hoping to have it finished up later today or tomorrow. But now going down this spiritual path, when I went through this house, it's back in 2020. I didn't really know what I was seeing. All I knew is this house just made me feel sick for some reason. Like I did not feel good being in there. I felt super creepy. There were a whole bunch of just really weird things in this house that I didn't understand. But now going down this path, I more fully understand what was going on in the house. Anyways, I'll be posting that later on today, hopefully, or maybe tomorrow. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
And welcome back to We're the People. This is your host, Jason Preston. And today.
So that's that. And then
So
I'll go back.
the temple, so that altar room is clearly a replica of some kind of room in the temple, right?
Think Warren
Very
Jeffs.
clearly.
Man.
So how do they like think that it's okay to do ceremonies in there if you're not in a temple, right? Like,
Look at the water, like the hose, and
yeah,
like
no,
what
that's
could you really
totally
be doing in here? Blood just is safe to go down a drain. And look the steps, like a sauna room, where people could sit.
I remember one similar to that, and probably the first temple that I ever went into.
Oh my God!
No. I do. I have like it brings back memories.
I'm sorry for y'all who have, been subjected to that, because that's horrifying. I think, I don't know if this guy is Mormon, the one that, the builder, but I mean, either way, still, it was his introduction into SRA. And so he's just like, what? He just thought it was odd. So he posted it, woke up to it being viral. And I mean, there's only Goel does the map of everything and shows who's all owned the house. Donnie Osmond being one of the owners. You can't make this shit up, y'all. But that tracks with the Osmond being exploited as children, kind of like Michael Jackson 5.
So let's make the differentiation here between normal, everyday, standard LDS doctrine and these weirdos doing these weird things. And I'm not doing it for any kind of a moral stand. I'm just saying, when I grew up, I encountered a room like that in a temple that had been dedicated. So if you're in somebody's house with a room like this that mimics a Mormon temple, what the frick is going on in there? Like, seriously, what's going on?
It reminds me of Warren Jeffs and what he was doing in the temple room, and altar stuff. And yeah, nothing safe on to say. Yeah, I don't know if y'all want to hear some of this or what y'all want to do, but
keep going. No, keep going. This is wow.
I'm just going to keep it at regular speed too.
California. Dr. Brent Prattley.
Also know that I've been keeping up with this other channel called Crazy Days and Nights, and he's a reporter and he talks about the Epstein files, really. Not just the Epstein files, but a lot of the celebrities, their comings and goings. And anywho, now I've seen the name DeJong come up twice already. Cecile or Cecily, one of the two, DeJong. And it's something about her and her husband were part of the government there. Like, not a mayor, but she was the first lady to whatever on an island. Okay. And I just don't know it right off the top of my head right now, but I noted it because I'm like, DeJong, that just is not your normal name. You know, it's just very specific. It's very different. And I just noted it because I'm like, I wonder if Roselle Anderson is related, you know, because this is her mom, Karma, and Richard Anderson, are her mom and dad, and they're LDS royalty, right? So, I mean, where does this go? Does it go there? I just have it noted.
Allegedly raping young boys in the Edgemont wards
Hold on.
with impunity in the 90s.
On my way is calling me out for not cussing properly.
On my way to 808.
I will drop the F-bomb on
Yeah,
occasion.
we gotta pick and choose, man, because of he just
right.
said the R word, like
So I'll drop it here and there. And it is my inner Mormon probably that prevents me from dropping it more often, but I have been known to drop it from time to time. So what
every time we go live. It's like not me cussing, it's him. I'm like, okay. I get it. Trust me, I hold back a lot. A lot. Gotta pick and choose, man.
You can pick your
you
friends.
Say it for us on my way to 808. You say it for us.
There you go. You can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose.
Right. Ew.
And facing little to no ecclesiastical discipline for it. So David Callister also has a further connection to the Hamblin case. He served 2 missions with his wife Susan, one of which was in Birmingham, Alabama, a mission where Richard Holzapfel presided. Richard Holzapfel's wife is Jenny Carol Broberg, the daughter of Jack McLean J.B. Broberg and the niece of Charles Wayne Broberg, whose daughter Julianne Broberg was Dick Callister's first wife.
Well, Dick
Callister. So what you're seeing is corroborating evidence, circumstantial evidence of what the Hamblin girls allege, that these groups function off of bloodlines. They intermarry within certain bloodlines. Richard Holzapfel was one of the speakers at Karma DeYoung Anderson's funeral. And so alongside Apostle Garrett Walter Gong, he spoke at Karma DeYoung Anderson's funeral. He has a long relationship with both Richard Lloyd and Karma DeYoung Anderson. And of course, the Callister family apparently has a relationship as well. Because as I minimize this, what we're going to see here in a moment is a map. This is the house, 4545 Brookshire Drive. And one of the things that I want to call attention to,
I'm not seeing the map on here,
in terms of this map, is just how much concentration of ownership there is. Now, right down the street is Craig and Susan Suki Christensen, otherwise known as Suki Hamblin, David Hamblin's younger sister. Craig Christensen is an alleged member of the Church of Satan. So is his wife.
And he's also on the city council in Provo.
He is now on the city council in Provo. He is also a bishop of a YSA ward.
That's right.
Provo. And so what we start seeing here,
YSA ward is young
right
single
here.
Adults.
Like what Jason Mallon called
houses that have the same little color house on them, all these lots. They're all owned by David A. and Zina P. Wetton. This one, this lot, this lot, this lot, and this lot. This lot is owned by an Iyer, so it doesn't fit within the pattern, but this lot up here is also owned by David P. and Zina A. Wetton. This lot up here is 4667 North Brookshire Circle. It's owned by Craig and Susan Christensen, who sold it to another couple that shows up over and over again in this neighborhood's property records. That would be Alexander and Mary Lou Terrazon. The Terrazons resold this property back to the Christensens in 2025, according to the real estate records. Now, another incredible coincidence is that just a block over on Redford, Brad and Terry Box live. During the time that Katie Hamlin was attending Tippmew High School, Brad Mox was the principal. And he has two homes
That don't sound good.
on Redford that he has owned.
Well, that's a lot of money.
875 and 903. And
Yeah.
so he owned this home from 1996 to 2020. So what you're starting to see is a concentration of ownership in this real estate.
Oh, wow.
You'll see this name over and over again.
I didn't know that.
If you
What Christine Garner shared with us. Thank you. Broberg was the guy who abused the family in the documentary Abducted in Plain Sight. Now, I've watched the documentary, but it's been a while too. So thank you for sharing that. Interesting. That is so alarming.
Very interesting. And as it relates to the video you're showing now, these are actually very standard single family residential
Homes,
subdivisions. Yeah. Like subdivisions will build out like this all the time. And you will see the lots pass back and forth between owners before a house is built. But once a house is built, usually it's like the builder owns it and then a family owns it. And then maybe they transfer it once or twice over the next 20 years. You don't usually see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 transactions between multiple owners after a house has been built.
Here's this Jan Broberg from Abducted in Plain Sight explains harrowing childhood abductions. Jan Broberg's abuser, see her last name? Broberg? Abuser convinced her she was the last chance for an alien species. Oh, God. So, kidnapped victim Jan Broberg, the subject of Netflix documentary Abducted in Plain Sight, said she was groomed by her kidnapper to believe UFOs and extraterrestrial life were a plausible possibility. Monday on The View, Broberg discussed her childhood and steps taken by the family friend Robert Birchtold, who went by the nickname B, to manipulate the family and kidnap Broberg twice. The Broberg family met the Birchtold family through their church in a small town in Idaho in 1972, according to the documentary Abducted in Plain Sight. Quote, he was the kind of guy that was just helpful, unquote, Broberg said of her initial impressions of B. Quote, everybody loved him, unquote. With a corresponding friend for every family member, the families quickly grew close to one another, and B became like a quote-unquote second father to Broberg. In 1974, at the age of 12, Broberg was taken on a special trip along with B to go horseback riding. After Broberg took what she thought were allergy pills before heading to the stables, she passed out in the car and remembers nothing of the car ride. She woke up strapped to a bed in an unidentifiable confined space that she learned years later was B's mobile home. A recording began to tell her story of how she was half alien and the extraterrestrial species. Mind control, y'all. Survival depended on her to procreate with the male companion of their choosing. That companion was B, and the mission was to have a child with him before Broberg turned 16 years old. Broberg was missing for roughly a month during the first kidnapping, the first one, during which she was SA'd by B. She was rescued by the FBI, who found Broberg and B in his mobile home in Mexico. Interesting. I wonder if that ties back to Mitt Romney or the, oh my gosh, Ervil LeBaron. Okay, B blackmailed Broberg's parents, Bob and Mary Ann, into signing affidavits claiming he had consent to bring their daughter to Mexico after the first kidnapping. Both parents claimed in the documentary that if they didn't do this, B would expose a sex act. Boy, that goes right in line with Diddy, Epstein, and all the gangs. And right? Tim Ballard. And Tim Ballard. Who does that shit?
Even if he had permission from the parents, it's still sick, disgusting, and illegal.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
called
don't care if
trafficking.
parents sign over. Exactly. Holy crap. In
Interstate.
Mexico,
Yeah,
do we know of some like FLDS leader type who might have like taken people across the border to Mexico?
we know Ervil LeBaron, and we know the Romneys. They set up camp south of the border. Yeah. Both parents claimed in the documentary that if they didn't do this, B would expose a sex act that Bob and B engaged in prior to the kidnapping. The affidavits comprised the FBI's case against B, according to the documentary. He was sentenced to 5 years probation and 5 years in prison. All but 45 days of his prison sentence were suspended.
What?
This is an elite.
You get 5 years and you do 45 days?
Yeah,
All right.
this
Let's
is
try.
all elite.
I'm breaking it out. What the actual fuck?
Yep. What the fuck?
I'm breaking it out. Like that's 45 days out of 5 years. That's a travesty.
Oh, whoa. He only ended up serving 10 days in prison.
Holy God. Out of
That's a little
5
further.
years. He got 5 years and he did 10 days. People. Oh my God. All right.
Oh my God. The affidavits, okay, basically, all right. The following 2 years, B kept in contact with Broberg, who said she felt she loved him. Abducted in plain sight, viewers learned B kidnapped Broberg a second time from her parents' home in Idaho in 1976 when she was 14. He brought her to California, enrolled her in a Catholic school, posing as her father and a CIA agent. I bet he was. According to the documentary, this kidnapping lasted for approximately 4 months until she was rescued again by the FBI. This reminds me of Elizabeth Smart, y'all. Broberg continued to believe the make-believe, kind of does, the make-believe alien story up until her 16th birthday. Quote, "You have to think again how the grooming happens," unquote, Broberg explained. "It happens before the actual incident occurs." The fascination with potential alien life intersecting with life on Earth was popular in the early 70s. B took the Broberg children and his own to science fiction films in the 2 years prior to kidnapping Jan. In addition, B would consistently show Broberg's parents, Marianne and Bob, newspaper clippings of alleged UFO sightings around the country. He wouldn't talk directly to young Broberg, but she would curiously listen to conversations about UFOs that B and her parents had in the kitchen. Quote, "When people asked me about the brainwashing, I'm like, it took 10 seconds. I'd been led up to that moment," Broberg said. Growing up Mormon, Broberg told The View co-host that she was somewhat familiar with the Mary, Jesus, and Joseph story, and B told her similar story through the voice recordings. "I was this special person that was going to have this special child that was going to save the world." Oh my God. "That story I heard at Christmas time." Today, Jan has a wonderful relationship with her parents. Through therapy, she learned to forgive them for not stopping the years of abuse she endured from B. Quote, "I had my moments of being angry and upset," Broberg says about resentment towards her parents, "but I knew they had been groomed and manipulated too." Marianne was involved in an 8-month affair with B post-kidnapping while she was still married to Bob. Oh, damn, the mom. Oh, my God. And even though she knew he was her daughter's abductor, they didn't find out about the alien mission B convinced their daughter of until 1978, after she turned 16. She's the same age as my mom, because that's when I was born. "It's the smokescreen that a master manipulator creates," Broberg warned. The cautionary tale, another one, Broberg tells about kidnapping today is that, quote, "It's somebody you know, love, and trust, and probably somebody your child knows, loves, and trusts," unquote. Whoa. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay.
Like I
Okay.
wasn't like I didn't already go down one rabbit hole today. I need two.
I know. But I mean, it really, that aligns with a lot of what I've been hearing and reading about over the last years about these elite, Catch Me If You Can, what's Howard Hughes, I think about how the Mormons, or it's Mormon owned, the Skinwalker Ranch. Sean Reyes visited there. I mean, it's, come on now. I mean,
Well,
I'm glad I live
I
in the
think
time I do, because it's like, it's easy for me to put this information together with the technology we do have versus then when we didn't, you know?
well, and for him to enroll her in school, in a private
Catholic.
school in California, and claim to be CIA, like, what are the odds that maybe he might have actually been CIA?
Sounds like Tim too, claiming to be CIA, and then, but not, you know, anyways, and then Homeland Security. And then I'm just saying, look at Epstein. Diddy, he's Brule, you know, like, it's, anyways, it's interesting as all hell.
It is.
Yeah. And I mean, what about Brian David Mitchell? You know what? I'm telling you, I'm trying to put my finger on something in that, because whenever I'm trying to see, I had it pulled up. Yeah, here it is. This Angela Davidson found this for me, because whenever Tyler and JJ were missing, Ed Smart was put together to talk to my parents. Okay. And then Ed Smart had also been interviewed by Nate Eaton. And Ed Smart worked like the Smart Foundation or whatever, Elizabeth Smart Foundation, teamed up and partnered with OUR. And I'm telling you, this circular. We're closing in on them.
And Ed, thank you so much for.
Oh, okay.
Larry and Kay and Ed, thank you so much for doing this and for coming together. I know that you each have your own individual experiences, but they're very similar. And I thought it would be good to share some of the wisdom between you. And before I go any further, Larry and Kay, how are you holding on today? How are you?
Good day, Ashley. Thank you for having us. Today is good. I mean, that there's days that are terrible and days that are better and weeks that are terrible, and it's a roller coaster, never ending. You never know what you're gonna hear or smell or see or something that's gonna remind us of JJ, and then, like the other day I found one with the little toys and out in the garage, and I brought it into Larry, and I'm like, it's just a little old toy, and I was like,
simplest of things.
And I said, but I can't throw it away, but it upset me terribly.
Thank God we're together. Thank God she's here for me and our family. I don't know if we could have gone through this without their support, their love, their prayers, and it makes a big difference for us.
We have great network of support, family, friends. It helps.
Yeah, it doesn't sound unlike the circumstance that Ed, you found yourself in 2002. Your daughter vanished. It was the most mysterious situation, and all of a sudden you were in the center of a cloud, an active cloud, an uninvited cloud, and then there was this personal grieving. Your daughter was missing. Can you walk us through a little bit of how that is perhaps somewhat similar to what Larry and Kay are dealing with now?
Well, I think that when I think back at that time, Lois and I, as was mentioned by Kay and Larry, we had to rely on each other. I mean, we each had our ups and our downs, and we really came to a point where, one of us had to be there for the other on those that roller coaster, because it just is horrific. And both of us, of course, were impacted by it. And I remember probably the first week we had, we couldn't sleep at night. I mean, there was nothing that would stop your mind. It just wouldn't calm down. And I think we had to take sleeping pills finally. to.
You know what's different though between the stories is that the church actually, supported like finding Elizabeth Smart, but they did not with Tylee and JJ. And I mean, I know that just from Lauren with Hidden True Crime telling about how, she remembers there being like, and I mean, it could have been the words. I don't know. I have to go back and listen intently just for that. But,
Did the church ever release anything about JJ and Tylee?
Nothing.
Did they ever release anything about Chad and Lori and their stupid offshoot cults?
Never uttered their name. The only time that they were mentioned is whenever they involved themselves in the case. Like they thrust themselves into it.
Right. And the memo that they released was, don't get involved in a police investigation.
Right. Which makes me question, why did they involve themselves? Is it so they could steer it? Is it to keep Lori quiet? Was she perhaps going mental, because she was starting to squawk? And it was like they put her in the spa or in the mental institution in order to remind her of.
They put her in the warm baptismal font.
Oh God. Right. Hey, Miss Teresa. Glad you're here.
Nothing. Okay. If you perchance are or were LDS and you're watching this, and I was not born. Okay. I was sealed to my own family when I was like 2.5 years old. So almost basically born and raised in the Mormon church. You have to look at the way that the church has handled Lori and Chad's case. Like you cannot discount it and say, well, that's just, the church isn't going to say anything because, it wouldn't be appropriate. When 2 children are missing, when JJ and Tylee were missing, for how many months were they missing before they found them? And the church did not say a single word, not a single word from the church, which has this huge public information department that issues statements all the time about stuff that we don't give a fuck about.
No.
So what does that say? They didn't give a fuck about JJ and Tylee.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. I brought it out like 3 times now. I dropped it like 3 or 4 times now.
Star Dante said Ashley Banfield was caught lying about a location she was supposed to be at along with Nancy Grace. And I was like, whoa. And I believe it. They are no different than the preppers instilling fear and exploiting everyone around them. They are in on it. The elites. Glenn Beck, y'all, he has narrated that show Missing 411, the documentary. And I'm like, what are the odds? What are the odds? They seem to be in on the secret. And I'm telling you, I believe that they're behind a lot of these crimes. I mean, could have even been there. I don't know. But it's like Alex is the apparent fall guy. But I also look at Chad and Lori as the fall guys too, for something bigger, covering up something bigger, which is why nobody else was charged. And they convicted the way that they did. And I mean, look at all the other look at Delphi, look at John Benet Ramsey, all these other cases, there's always the one guy, but they're never, I don't know, Koberger.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So that's the thing about Koberger and Delphi and John Benet Ramsey and Sarah Boone and Karen Reed. There's only one. There's
a lone killer. Yeah.
Yeah. There's only one. There's only one killer. Like there are people that theorize and conspiracy.
We don't know about John Benet yet. Still, right, I believe it was a group. That's just
it could have been. It could have been. Um, but in JJ and Tylee and your Uncle Charles, it was definitely more than one. It was
Oh
definitely
God,
3, 4, 5, 6. Like
David
couldn't
and Melanie were there. I mean, at the apartment, and David had a bad dream, like you said. And I'm sorry, that to me is JJ's murder. That he's just having to do some gobbledygook, in order to pass the potato, like, hot potato, because he's friends with Tom Harrison. And I actually, y'all, and I want to know if y'all are interested in this even, but I went to the video I have of David Warwick proselytizing, testifying
Oh man, I would
about
love to see that. Oh yeah.
it's 4 hours. No, I have it. It's out
Oh, it's
there.
4
But
hours? He proselytized for
yes.
4 hours?
And he
Prophet
sounds, it was at one of these firesides, though. That's what they do. It says 2015. And so I grabbed the transcript and now this is where I use my chat GPT and I put it over there and I'm like, okay, I get them to write it out and fill in the misspelled words and everything. Cause Lord have mercy, 4 hours, right? I had to do it in installments, but it's really
That's
interesting to read it back without listening to a cyborg ass, and just listening to it or just reading it and it not being attached to somebody who pisses me off. Just like with Lori stuff, if you take what they're saying and just read it for yourself, then I'm telling you, y'all, I'm just like, oh, I would love to go over that with y'all if anybody's interested.
well, I would love to, but I'm not going to be able to stay awake until like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no, not tonight. I'm saying in the future, like,
like
I don't know.
4 hours, 4 hours from
I
11:30.
mean,
That's like
it could
that's
be
like
in
way
next
late.
Tuesday if you're up for it, if you want to. We don't have to read the whole thing, but just to get
Yeah,
into it,
that would actually be a really good like plan because then you can mark the timestamps in that
Mhm.
ahead of
And I
time. And
wouldn't have to I've got it prepared already, so we could just
awesome,
schedule and go, I think
shabam.
every now and then we need that. So yes, the Substack, write about it. Okay. No, thank you. I need that. I don't know what I'm scared about. I'm just like, okay, I get right up to the line and I'm like, yeah, no, it's still a virgin. My Substack is still a virgin. I just repost things there. That's it. And I
Oh
need
my
to do it. I need to
lord.
commit. Y'all need to stay on my butt. But anyways, so all right. I mean, I don't want to hang and keep everybody too late either. I want to start ciphering these things down so it's not like, oh no, a Mormon Stories podcast, where it's
Yep.
80 hours
I'm
long.
I'm going to try a light in my background. So you all need to give me a check to see if it works out or not. Like I'll be able to see it. Like you won't even have to tell me. But I got to try that.
Uh,
It doesn't work.
the aliens are here for Miss
Right?
Brumbo.
You know that says Joe, but you don't know that says Joe because you can't read it.
No, it
I
looks
gotta
like
work
Mountain Dew.
on how do I get it to focus? How do I get my camera to focus?
You gotta turn your blur off.
I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah, go to settings. Come on, y'all. Tell Joe how to do it.
Yeah, let's
And go none. None.
display informative, shift videos, audio, show resolution badge on stage. What the heck?
You're
Camera.
gonna go to settings to visual effects, and then you're gonna say blur, like mine's blurring right now, and then none. Okay, it's easy.
Okay, that's none. It's on none.
Oh, okay.
Still not
I
there.
see Schmoe not lit up.
Right? Boom. So you can see Joe Schmoe, right? Kind of.
Yeah. Now
All
I can.
right. So I got things to work on. I got things to work on before my 1-year anniversary show on Sunday. I'll try and get it figured out before then.
Okay, and I'm down for that. Teresa Bell, she was saying she's talking about there's a Substack about that house. Okay, look, I didn't shame myself about Substack, but she's talking about there's a Substack for that house, the altar house that we were talking about just now. So I'll definitely take a look at that.
Oh yeah.
It is all disturbing. Trust me. The stuff that I've been reading over the years has been horrific. The show I did Sunday, I actually had like a 4-minute clip of a blurb that it comes from the Hamblin victim statements about Gordon Bowen and about, trigger warning, about how they claimed that they were basically an offer for something their dad did. They claim their dad did, that pissed off the LDS Church of Satan or whatever. And so they were offered up as like a peace offering, so to speak. And so they talked about the abuse, about seeing, about the torture tables that were being used, about having to put human skin, with hair still in it, on it. And they had to wear it while they were being violated. And I mean, just a 4-minute clip, but oh my God, everybody was like, I could feel it. I could see it in the chat. Some people, Gallegos, Michelle, she was like, this is Silence of the Lambs. And it is, but it's like, will we ever know? Because it never gets to go to court. These people are just, they're like whack-a-mole. They're the best players of whack-a-mole I've ever seen in my life because they dodge being convicted or even exposed. And that tells you everything you need to know, I believe. So just like that story we just read about Jan Bromberg. I already messed it up. But I mean, how 10 days of prison and okay, doke. You know, it starts to, and it pisses me off because I'm telling you, I've had pullovers where I'm pulled over for a blinker, or whatever. And I've had 2 officers at the same time. And I'm like, I am calm, they're like, lower your voice. And I'm like, I am. Y'all both talking at me at the same time. I can't. What? Anyway, I've had that. And it's worse than what all the people around Chad and Lori got. We don't even have an interrogation or even an interview besides Lori after my uncle was murdered. We don't have anything of Chad and Lori being, interrogated by any cop ever. So, oh God,
Seems like we might have some of that somewhere. It seems like somebody might have some of that footage somewhere.
Now there is another interview. Now this comes from Arizona. If we can get the rest of that for you, is interview, maybe 2 more interviews with Melanie. I also need to get the recording my mom has in her Dropbox somewhere of her conversation with Melanie Gibb a long time ago. I mean, even if I have to take my mom out of it, just, I wouldn't want that. But
Okay,
we are a one-party state.
Was Chad taken into the Rexburg PD and was he interviewed, interrogated?
No, I mean, if so, there's no record of it. We don't have anything from Idaho, ever. They used a lot of Arizonas.
That's really strange because we just saw like gigabytes upon gigabytes downloaded for Brian Koberger. Like we saw so much downloaded, uploaded, whatever you want to call it, on that. Why don't we have that for
Idaho for both Chad and Lori when they were adjudicated in 23 and 24?
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't harp on it because I was like, well, maybe they're just not saying it because of Arizona. Now Arizona's over. All 2 trials done. She's already back over there at the homeland. Okay. In Idaho.
There's still somebody else that might still be under the gun, under investigation, maybe.
Well, they can still prosecute. They still have it. Here, we'll help you. Give us the the information. It's Freedom of Information Act, allegedly. Quit being so damn secret of Idaho. That pisses me off, man.
There are definitely states that resist it more than other states. Indiana,
Florida's the Sunshine State.
Yes, Florida is the Sunshine State. I got 28 gigabytes of data on Stefan Stearns, and I still haven't been able to go through all of it. 28 gigabytes on Stefan Stearns. But from Indiana, nothing on Delphi. From Indiana, nothing on that Valentine's Day murder. From Indiana, nothing on the John and escort in Evansville, Indiana. Nothing. So there's 3 cases, nothing in Indiana. Oklahoma, nothing from 4 police departments, and a teenage girl, 16 years old, that died on June. She went missing on June 5th, died on June 7th, was found on June 12th. Nothing from 5 of the 7 departments that were involved in that investigation. And Idaho, nothing but resistance to nothing but denials of my FOIA request in Idaho.
I want to request, and just as a family member, and just be like, what the hell?
So the family members in Oklahoma told me that I need to keep requesting my FOIA request in Oklahoma, because they said that media will get responded to faster than the family gets responded to in Oklahoma. I don't know about Indiana, and I don't know about Idaho, but Oklahoma, that's what the family told me. Like, you need to keep requesting that and do not let up. That's a hard thing to do. Like, that takes like mental, physical, emotional energy every single day to contact those places. And most of them are going to be like, all right, you already submitted a FOIA request. We have so many days to respond. Just wait for your response.
That sounds like it tracks, you know? And I mean, I've never thought like this before. I never was one to think political, but I wonder how many of the less open states are red states and blue states.
Well, I'll tell you this, the victim in the Oklahoma case was a minority.
Okay.
And
same with the Native Americans. And
her body lay, I don't know for sure if she was Native American, but she might have been, but her body laid out alongside the road for 5 days after her missing persons report went out. 5 days. And that's driving her family nuts right now. They have no answers from the local, county, or state at all in it. And it's tough for me because they're not putting pressure on me, but they're asking me to try and come up with the answers that they can't come up with. And it's tough.
Wow.
And the emotional pressure is tough.
Yeah, look, so I was answering, Karen Lee Holland asked me if there were any LDS churches in Australia. And so, yeah, there are. And now that I think about it, Nate Eaton, he did a mission in Australia. So that for sure won. But yeah, there will be 7 Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint temples in Australia once the 2 recently announced temples, the Liverpool and South Brisbane temples, are completed, bringing the total from the current 5 to 7. The other 5 operating temples are located in Sydney, Adelaide, Melbourne, Perth, and the Brisbane, Australia temple. So yeah, y'all, Daisy Jade, you got some digging to do. Down under. Yes, you do. AR says Moscow, Idaho is the headquarters of Douglas Wilson, who was in the news recently. His church and congregation also has rampant, unchecked abuse that no one is ever held accountable for. Interesting. I'm going to take your comment and copy it, and I'm going to paste it so I can dig. I'm a digger from way back.
There we go.
Not a prior, but I'm a digger.
There's no shortage of things to dig into either. There's no shortage.
I need help for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I need help.
Stay in it,
like,
AR.
that's one thing you can do to help creators who are digging into things is, yes, dig and email it, or, I'm all about crediting somebody.
Right. And don't just bring ideas like I heard this and I heard that. Like, try and bring some receipts. Like, that's what we need. That's what we operate on, is like stories, like whether it's news articles or whether it's property records or whatever it is.
Yeah, to back your ass up, that way you're credible and what you're saying is credible. But I mean, I think our community appreciates the receipts. So therefore, I think they'd be bringers of receipts.
Yep. Absolutely.
I do. Yeah, it was always, my kid would never do that. That's the Provo way, a Provo push, huh? See, Robbie was raised where his mom, I want to say, was, look, Robbie, correct me, please, but of a different denomination. And I want to say she preached, okay? And so he was raised around Mormon kids who were vile to him. Vile. And he's not the only person I've heard of this happening to. Not Mormon, but yet just shit on by the Mormon kids. Look at Preston Lord. I wonder if he was LDS or if just any of the perpetrators, alleged perpetrators, are LDS or elite, you know, in that sense. Well known, plugged in, network, Christian church. Okay. Yep. I mean, that breaks my heart. You know, that just is so wrong. And it just goes to show you that that's that's an LDS dominated state, you know. I mean, pretty much you can see that. You can see that as a theocratic, sorry.
Theocracy. Is that what you're
Yeah.
looking for?
Yeah. Theocratic, theocracy. Yeah. I mean, it's
But
for
people
to be
will
claiming
say,
to
oh,
teach Christianity are not.
yeah. No. Well, people will say, well, it's not the Mormon church that runs the state government. Okay, but the state government is comprised of like 90% Mormons. So you tell me if there's a bill that comes up on the floor that either favors or doesn't favor the church, they're going to vote one way or the other. I'll tell you how they're going to vote.
Wow. Go ahead. Yeah, however they need to. Prop 8. You know, there's a Huntsman brother who is like, you know, I mean, now he's saying that, but whatever. However, people got to get out of it. I don't care as long as they get out of it. That's my thing. Just, I want people to be aware of what they're supporting, who they're supporting, and who they're enriching, you know, and gives power to, so that they can abuse people and themselves included, you know. Whenever my friend Jen, you know, she had left whenever she found out about the Prop 8 stuff, and about how the church was saying that, you know, like to her kids, that they have to disown their parent or parents or whatever if they were homosexual. And so she left in like 2015-ish. And I was like, girl, you know, it's like the trash sometimes takes itself out for you, you know, and then not even really knowing what I know now. I mean, this was in my early research. And I mean, I'd already found out about the second anointing at that point. And I was like, if a church is going to withhold this information from its own members of just the regular church, of just anything, then I don't trust them anyways. I don't value what the hell they have to say. And it's just wrong. And the way the competition is in the church with the members, you know, and you heard it here first, you know, that it's just that kind of atmosphere. And I don't want nothing to do with it.
It's a little bit like social media. You heard it here first.
That's what I'm saying. I can't stand that. You know, you heard it here first. And I'm just like, why?
That happened with baby Emmanuel. Did you see that? Where somebody was there on scene reporting and claimed that his body had been found.
Yep.
Like they reported that live, and it was not true.
I think that they corrected themselves, but still, it's harm.
It is.
What if that's my only time running across that and just never seeing it again? You know, I'm just going to know that and repeat that.
Bring the receipts first, people. Like, you just because it gives the rest of us a black eye, like
a bad story, a bad rap.
Yep.
And they start referring to them as YouTubers. Them YouTubers.
Exactly.
And
I have literally ran into that, and that was Vincent at Maricopa County Superior Court. So when I first started interacting with him, I was doing research into Lori's case, and I'm like, if you're a legitimate media organization, you can get documents from the court for free. And so I applied for that, and he's like, well, media organization are you with? And I'm like, I'm an independent media organization. Oh, he goes, you're one of those. I was like, well, what does it take to be a legitimate media person? And he goes, like, if you work for a newspaper, a big newspaper, or a big television company, was his answer at that time. And that was in December of last year. So then I went to Lori's trial in April for your Uncle Charles. And I went every day, and I went with the public every day with Trace on the case. She and I went every day to that trial in April. And then we came back for the trial in June. And I said, Vincent, I would like to sit with the media for this. And he goes, okay, you can do it for this trial. And it was just his like objective decision to let me do that. Like there's no subjective criteria, or there's no objective criteria. It was his subjective decision. I mixed those up. So what's it going to take, because legacy media is legacy media any better than social media at this point in time?
But it's better control of the elites by the elites, because they own it and they can tell you, they have the last word as to what is going to go out there and what's not. Just like it made me wonder, and I mean, this is a good question, and I don't know if anybody's asked it. I'm sure people have, but we always wonder about what cases of missing persons make it to the media, to the mainstream, and what cases don't. And is this because the ones that do have affiliations with the elites so that they can drive the narrative, make money off of it every which way possible, push it in the news, make movies, all the things, okay? Do those make it to the mainstream media, and the ones that don't are probably just regular murders, regular missing cases? I mean,
here's a good benchmark. Let's talk about East Idaho News. They're nobody, right? They're nobody in the grand scheme of things, like ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. They're nobody. But all of a sudden, Nate Eaton goes and tracks down Lori and Chad in Hawaii.
Because he got a tip of where to be.
Right.
He didn't tell Justin. He sent him palm trees instead.
Yes. So all of a sudden, East Idaho News is not nobody anymore.
And they are the authoritative news source for the Chad and Lori Daybell case. Boom.
And they get let into trial without question.
Yep.
So
and everybody buys what they say as word.
But it goes back to me as an independent journalist, as a social media quote unquote YouTuber. Vincent's original question: do you work for a large TV station or newspaper outlet? Like, is that your determining factor? Because Nate Eaton does not. He does not work for a big TV outlet. He does not work for a big newspaper. He works for East Idaho News.
And then bought into it.
Right.
So he owns some of it.
Yeah.
With
so
Frank Vandersloot, a billionaire who owns East Idaho, all Southeast Idaho, basically. So,
right. So that's something that courts and public information officers are going to have to think about, and social media content creators are going to have to think about.
I think that gives, legacy media more of like shit talk, about YouTubers, any chance they can get, they're going to shame a YouTuber, because like, let's talk about Zaf Girl and what she did with Gavin. I'm sorry. I always say Gannon Stout or whatever, his autopsy photos or whatever. It was just through Patreon. I know all kinds of creators who use Patreon for the FOIA docs that are free, or not free, but I mean, they're free people do pay for them. They do cost money. Yes. However, how many times over do you get to make that money back and exploit that case. Okay. Sorry, just being real. Just being real. And that's when I found it at a point myself. I found myself even fighting to keep the information, like I didn't want to share it because I didn't pay for it. So I was like, well, I can't just hand it out. And then I got to a point I was like, fuck that. Here's the FOIA. Here's my Dropbox. Here's the same, it's been paid for. The blood paid for it, in my opinion. So it's just like, let's stop hoarding information. Let's share it. Okay. Because what is this about then? If we're hoarding it and fighting over it, and you heard it here first, and then shaming a YouTuber publicly by legacy media for sure for doing the same fucking thing that everybody else is doing. Okay. So shame on all y'all. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that kind of opened up the door for me in Lori's trials, because the first trial I was definitely public, and in the second trial I was definitely media, and then I was treated differently, but I was also accepted differently. Like Brianna from Arizona Family that did the 3 interviews with Lori, like she literally sat next to me or stood next to me, in the media pool area.
Yeah.
And I literally sat either next to or 2 seats down from Nate Eden and Justin Lum, and Gigi was there a lot also. She wasn't there all the time, but she was there a lot. I sat down, the row from her. Like all of these exposures that I got once Vincent said, okay, you can sit with the media pool. Like that just changed everything. And I was accepted. I was accepted by legacy media too. Like they would come in the morning. I had been there since 5 o'clock. They came in strolling in at like 8 or 8:15, like many hours later. But they would say hi to me, and I was like, that felt like I was accepted. But
you just know you don't have to be. That we need people like you in there because to keep them in line, basically. But I think that's what keeps Nate in line to a certain extent, except for the Mormon stuff. Then that's where they rule and reign, in my opinion.
What's funny about that, as you saying that about Nate, is he and I sat 2 seats apart for many days in both trials, especially the second trial. And I'm on Twitter and I'm like typing out like minute by minute, like word by word, as much as I can, what's going on in the trials. And he's doing the exact same thing on Twitter, like 2 seats away from me. And I guarantee you, if you go look at our 2 threads, they're probably a little bit different.
Yeah. Everybody's, I mean, that comes with perception and how people perceive things. I know mine too. Like whenever they talked about the Halloween masks being found in the garage of Lori Vallow, and I mean, to see them was a whole nother freaking thing that traumatized me. But everybody was reporting them as just Halloween masks. And I was like, I said they were monkey masks. But when I looked at them again at Chad's trial, it was an old person, like an old man mask, which was even scarier. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. But that's what part of the, here, I just found this.
Imagine how much different that would be. So you all got to watch her Maricopa County trials on TV. And we were there in person and we were reporting in person. But imagine being in Carroll County in Delphi, Indiana, when there is no television coverage and there is no audio recording.
They're like, okay, good, we win. Okay. And I mean, they did.
All you have to base your opinion of the trial on is what people who were in the courtroom are reporting to you.
And to corroborate whether another person is saying it right or what they saw. So not everybody could see everything or hear everything. I heard.
No. Only the media and legitimate legacy media, and you had to have media credentials, got to see the exhibits, the evidence exhibits.
That tells me everything I need to know. It really does.
Right.
How, just like Idaho, I'm like, why y'all selling everything? I found this. Look, we got to look at it. I have it pulled up.
Hold on.
This is the mayor. of Rexburg, the day the kids were found.
You're responding to the news right now. Well, it's a sad day for Rexburg, you know, of course, to find out the news about the kids. But on the other hand, it's a good day in the sense that it's good to try to bring some closure to the family and to this story, you know, that's been dragged out for so long. And so we're glad to have that closure, but it is a very sad day for the people who knew those kids and, you know, that loved them and cared about them. So, you know, it's really, there's nothing to celebrate.
Are you indicating that they found the kids?
Oh.
Are you indicating that they found the kids? Oh.
Celebrate.
Are you indicating that they found the kids?
Oh.
That is like the most literal oh shit moment that I've ever seen. Like,
yeah.
That was literally an oh shit moment.
Glad I found it. Yeah. I mean, come on now. This is the same guy so they hadn't been identified yet, you know? And so this is the same guy that goes on speaking things with Jason Mel. So there you go. That's what it takes, though. I'm not saying he's psychopath, but I'm saying it happens just like that, where they're plugged in network officials, members of the government, you know, who are elected in or not, and speak for the people, by the people, all the things. But are they? They know way more than we give them credit for. It is rigged. I agree with everything you're damn saying, AR. I do. It's kind of scary how much I'm agreeing with it. But I'm like, well, they know. And I mean, I hate that. I hate that because it destroys trust. But it also, I'd rather be slapped in the face 50 times a day with the truth than to be lied to and base my reality on a delusion of everybody else, you know.
Exactly. If you can challenge my cognitive dissonance, and I can say my mind is open to other possibilities than everything that I've ever thought to be true in my life,
yeah,
then you have done your job and I have done my job. Like that's how we should be in society. Like,
yep.
You don't have to be set in your beliefs to the extent that you will not listen to other people's facts or arguments.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so you either have to, in order, like what Robbie's saying, I've learned that you have to basically sell your soul in order to be network plugged in, or you have to be like a Freemason or a Rotary Club member or whatever. Okay. In order to be successful, but you always owe that success to somebody else who could destroy you or that keeps that kind of material, who can blackmail you. So not everybody is horrible that is connected and plugged in, but can be compromised by certain information. Look at the Kentucky thing going on over there. I'm like,
oh my God. Oh my God.
Look at Delphi. Look at these things. I mean, this is Salt Lake City all day, every day. And I'm just like, that's a good way to look at it, you know, from afar. Look at something you're not familiar with, you know, and it's astounding, all of the similarities where I can go, oh, but look over here. It's corruption. And if y'all think corruption is a conspiracy theory, then you got some splaining to do. You know, you got some learning to do.
And you have some cognitive dissonance to challenge.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Just challenge your cognitive dissonance. Like all of it is, like religion, politics. It's all us thinking that we know what the answers are. And when somebody else comes up with an answer that's different than our answer, then
No,
right.
people will unsubscribe and then go run their mouth and say, "Oh my God, it's not a trusted source or whatever." And I'm like, who claimed things where you need to get things from a trusted source? Look at how our government acted during that whole shutdown thing we had in 2020. Trusted sources, but yet if you sign up for the jab, you get a chance to enter to win $1 million. And I'm like, what? That don't feel right. It don't sound right. That's weird. So, isn't saving your life and the life of those you love around you, isn't that enough incentive? Why are we trying to, you can enter to win $1 million? That's where they give themselves away. And I'm just like, oh my God. Right. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Even until you can't, even until you confirm it or deny it, like trust your gut.
Right.
They tell you not
sources with receipts.
Yeah,
like
with
that's
receipts.
So Diamond Dave came in here late. Hey, Diamond Dave, I just want to say hi. He's like, sounds like politics. No, we're not talking about politics.
Politicking. No, it was just politicking. It's just called licking the bootstraps. You have to like, I'm not political. I don't understand it. I never wanted to. I'm just like, okay. It's just weird. And then I've learned that it's really just created to cause division because they're all on the same team anyways. And allegedly. Do your own research, but definitely. But you have to talk about politics, especially with Tim Ballard and who he's in bed with.
All right.
And
go to look at that comment from Diamond Dave. He's coming in late with some hot stuff.
I mean, you can. I believe this. But my mind is open. My mind is open. I don't blanket it over everything. I'm not that ignorant, I mean, just like with the church and the beliefs, and I don't believe a lot of the people. I believe that a lot of the members of the church are innocent bystanders in all this. They're the ones that do the bidding, for the church itself. I mean, I've seen it with my own two eyes with the people from Rexburg, Idaho, who rallied around my family in the most needy time, most vulnerable time of our lives, but I'm also not ignorant not ignorant enough to believe that there's no corruption, that people did not obtain job promotions or higher callings because of the deaths of my family and how it was treated. Just saying. And I have to compartmentalize myself, because these are the same people I have a lot of respect for, but I also know no man is above corruption. No man. And there's a lot of people trying to one up everybody. I don't know. I don't have all the answers.
No, nobody does. And anybody that pretends to, I don't want to listen to you. Like you pretend to have all the answers.
Yeah.
But you pretend, Kresha, you pretend to have done a lot of research, or have you done a lot of research?
No,
That's
I do.
not pretending.
And it's sickening what I've done. I've done it in the most, I've said it the unhealthy way. I know I did, but I didn't know how else to cope. And so I started digging the day after I found out my uncle was murdered. I started pulling background checks, and I'm like, I didn't realize when I started researching was immediately after I found out he was murdered. Like that was just my gut reaction to, my first instinct was just to not buy it for what was being told to my family, that my uncle was the aggressor, and I'm just like, that's not who he was, period.
Right.
So,
And it's just like the email that I got today that like you just like click and then you click and then you click and then you click, and it's their organization and it's their programming that leads you down the rabbit holes. It's not your trying to find a conspiracy. It's their conspiracy.
It just matches what you already have learned, what I've already learned. I'm just like, So, I mean, I look at everything and everybody. I do, because of what Lori and Chad did. I look at everybody and everything around me now with skepticism, but I think it's healthy. I don't think it's like bad. you know?
And I love people that have healthy skepticism about what you and I put out, like the content that we come up with. I love people that come in chat and are like, well, what about this and what about that? Like, bring it. Let's talk about it.
I know. I appreciate that too, because that means we're not alone in this, you know, like, because it sucks to have your worldview shattered over and over and over again. But then you get to a point, I got to a point where I'm like, okay, just have a healthy dose of skepticism for everybody and everything. And just, I feel like a wet blanket, you know, I'm just like, but what about this? You know, and I hate that. I used to live in my own bubble, you know, and I avoided news and I avoided horrible stories because it made my anxiety rage, you know, so I tried to steer clear of it. And, you know, but then it comes knocking on your door. Satan was in your family. And then you're like, holy shit, you know, peeled back the layer on the Mormon church, but it also opened my eyes to my entire world in the cult of the United States of America, you know. Anyways, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm a realist.
People are like, oh shit, we're having a party and here comes Kresha. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh God. Wet blanket. Oh bitch. Oh bitch.
All right. You ready to wrap it up for the night?
Yeah. Please wrap it up, everybody.
All right, let's wrap it up. We're under 3 hours. That's actually a good target for us, like under 3 hours for sure. Thank you so much.
An hour ago. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Joe Schmoe with the green lamp back there. Have those working by the next time we see you, okay?
Yes, they will be working by Sunday afternoon. I swear to God they will.
Oh. Okay, y'all heard that, right? No.
Right? Oh, no. All right. Everybody take care and justice for JJ and Tylee and Charles and Tammy and Joe.
Me and Joe. Yeah. Love always wins. Your proof of this.
Good evening. Come and find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet. Let's talk about the latest news and all about true crime. We can make a difference if we put in the time. Good evening. Come and find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet. Let's talk about the latest news and all about true crime. We can make a difference if we put in the time. If we put in the time. Yeah. Good evening. Come and find you a seat. Grab yourself a cup of joe and put up your feet. Let's talk about the latest news and all about true crime. We can make a difference if we put in the time.